I can't speak for anyone else, but I'm inspired listening to this. This really is. And for everyone watching this, I got a little bit of the backstory before we got started here. So this is one of the reasons we're going to find out a lot more. But I want you to hold those thoughts, and I'm going to turn it over to Dominica to ask some of her questions. Here.
I want to ask you, what is your biggest driver in your business? Why are you so passionate about what you do?
That's a great question. I think for me, it's been the fact that when we start a business, a lot of us don't know where to start, where to get, what to do, what's our next step. And so I spent 25 years in corporate, and I developed a passion for working with business owners. And I saw them from nothing. I saw when they walked in and they said they want to start a business, but they don't know how. And so I helped them step by step, even before becoming a coach, and just really developing that roadmap to help them get that business to the next level. Because building a business, I know a lot of people think it's just, oh, well, I just want to make more money, or I just don't want to work for anyone else. But the reality is that you're building a legacy. And, you know, in our business, we have 30 employees. And to me, it's such a huge responsibility to have to provide for every single one of those families. And when you look at business in a way that you want to leave legacy and build legacy, it's just more inspiring every single day, because you're not showing up for yourself, you're showing up for someone else.
Right. And I think in today's age, it's very glamorized when somebody hears, I own a business, or I want to be an entrepreneur. But the reality of it is that starting a business, it takes a lot of faith, and it takes a lot of grit, and understanding that, yes, you're giving everything up and it might be for nothing, but are you willing to take that risk? And the reality is, behind closed doors, entrepreneurship is everything but glamorous. It's hard work, it's dedication, it's having that faith and believing in yourself when absolutely nobody does.
Absolutely.
So going from zero to everything, you know, you need that guidance, because there is no manual to how to run the most successful business.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trial and error. And being able to have somebody that gets you through that mindset and performance, and then gets you through those processes and systems, is critical, because you might be able to know what you're an expert in, but that doesn't mean that you have all those other skills, right?
Absolutely. And that was a perfect example in our business, because just because I was an executive coach and I was helping with leadership and operations and systems, didn't know that I knew what it was to build a janitorial business.
Right.
So the janitorial business is a completely different industry that was absolutely new to me. And in sitting down and brainstorming, I'll never forget, my husband came home one day, he's like, we need to build systems. And I was like, okay, great. But which ones?
Right.
And so just being able to see that business, how we developed it from nothing to where we are today, is just truly inspiring. And I would say, I don't know for you guys, but for us, 2024 was a really tough year. And 2025, it's like this new year, new energy, stepping into a new environment where everything feels fresh, and, you know, just walking in with a new vision. So it's been really neat to start out the year this strong.
Love that.
Very, very nice. Very nice. Thank you for sharing all that. I'm going to bring it over to Anthony over here. So share with everyone, what are some of the challenges you encounter in your line of work?
Well, some of the challenges, well, first, to even get to where I am at in my line of work, because currently I'm a nurse practitioner.
Okay.
But 25 years ago, I was eating cheeseburgers out of a dumpster.
Wow.
Okay, and so coming from that and having to navigate school, because I ran away from home when I was 14,
Yeah.
and I didn't stop being homeless until I was 37. And I had an 8th grade education, so going back to school was a challenge.
Wow.
And I discovered little tricks like, you know, C's get degrees.
Yeah,
You know, I don't have to be an A student.
That's right.
C's get degrees. I'm actually stealing that one. I like that. Yeah.
You know, and if you
I got a degree, I was a C.
Hey, me too. You know, I'm a nurse practitioner. And the thing is, if you fail a class, that's okay.
Yeah.
Just repeat it again.
Right.
You know, it's no big deal. Don't give up. Don't quit before the miracle happens. And so going through that and navigating nursing school and all those other things, it was a challenge because it was something different. But if you want it, you're willing to go to any length, you'll get it.
You know what's so interesting is, and I'm sure I'm not the only one in this boat here, is there's so many podcasts out there. You go to YouTube and you hear people throwing this stuff around left and right. You can do this, you can be that. But here's the thing, right here, right now, in the present moment, you're living proof. This is reality. This isn't like somebody throwing an idea out there. This is reality.
Yeah.
So to anybody watching this right now, you're living proof of what can be done, what can be overcome, hurdles that can, that may seem insurmountable, that you can actually get over. What do you think the key behind all that is, though? Because there had to be something that one day clicked in you. It was literally just like a bolt of lightning. Something changed. Because if something didn't change, you would not be here right now.
Right.
You would be living on the streets.
That was going to be my question. What do you think was the tipping point? Because, at one point you were homeless. How did you manage to get out of that? And what do you think was the tipping point and then your breaking point?
My tipping point was somebody actually had to tell me that I had a problem.
Yeah.
Because living that way for so long, this is what I thought was my lifestyle.
Right.
And somebody had to say, that is not the way you're supposed to live. And then my next question was, well, how am I supposed to live? And so I was put in an environment in which mimicked or modeled a different kind of behavior. And I had adjustment pains, believe me.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you did.
But as I stuck around long enough, I started emulating that environment. And the next thing you know, I started getting the rewards from that environment. And I just kept going after those rewards.
Yeah.
And then also, at the risk of, not to put words in your mouth, but something inside of you, you knew intuitively that you could be more, that you could do something more, that you were meant to have an impact on people. You had a guiding light that somebody was able to ignite inside of you. And case in point, once that little ember got a little oxygen, holy smokes, the whole forest went up on fire. And here you are with a book in front of you, nurse practitioner. Absolutely amazing. Amazing.
And it's
and
never
I
too
just got
late.
the notice that we're finishing up here. So I want to give you both an opportunity to just let the whole world give your plug, put it out there. How can people get in touch with you?
Of course. So you can find me at maximizeyourdaypodcast.com. We're on Buzzsprout and married to the hustle podcast.com.
Wait, Married to the Hustle?
Yep.
Okay, what was the first
Love
one?
that.
Maximize Your Day podcast.
Maximize your day. You got that? And
Me, you can go to my website, anthonyhowardbrown.com. You can go to the internet, type in Brown Manor. You can go to my nonprofit, the Jeanette Jones Safford Foundation. My book's on Amazon. Just hit me up anytime.
We love it.
Well, you heard that, guys. Reach out to these two amazing human beings that I'm honored to be with them, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like we have amazing guests.
Amazing stories.
This is the thing about the Owwll app. It always brings the best of the best together. Yeah. Thank you for coming on this, both of you. Thank you for hosting. All right. Good job, guys. I freaking amazing.
Yesterday he said something that was so profound in your speech when you talked about gratefulness and you shared about being grateful for a pillow
Yeah.
and how much we take that for granted. That was like,
That creates more abundance, though. If you can't be grateful for where you're at now, why should you be deserving of more?
yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Do you two want a book? I'll autograph one
Yeah,
for
I
you.
would love that. I would love
Okay.
a book.
You have a pen handy somewhere?
All right. Well,
We got a marker, a dry erase marker.
You want to use this?
It might work. I'm not sure.
Here, how about this? Follow me on Instagram and I'll call you back.
He's got a pen though.
Okay.
AYRS.
Or you can have my card too.
Thank you. Where are you from? Where are you living now?
I'm in Ohio.
Oh, in Ohio.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Actually, I wrote and I designed and I'm implementing a transitional care program.
I love that. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yep.
Oh,
Of course.
sorry. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Hey,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
And here, if you
Yeah,
Let's go this way to walk through.
Okay. I'll go out and sign you guys the books. I want to keep your flow going.
here, hold on a second.
Do I have your contact information?
Yeah.
Check.
AYR.
How you doing?
Hugo.
Hugo.
Jeff.
Jeff?
Yep.
Got it.
Pleasure to meet you. Welcome to the podcast. Huh?
I not to sit between you two, but I was told red microphone.
Yeah, I guess.
Howdy.
How are you, man? What's your name?
Emilio.
Emilio?
Yeah. What's yours?
Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you. What do you do?
I do video marketing. I do for small businesses like service companies like roofers and chimney sweeps. That's like our main client. We also do clients in LA and stuff. They're Morehouse Foods. It's a mustard company, and basically make mustard fun.
Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. I'm Dominica.
I'm sorry?
I'm Dominica. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, they do like
Dominica.
Dominic. Okay, sorry. Hugo.
Morehouse
Nice
Foods.
to meet you.
White label almost everything. Publix mustard is Morehouse mustard.
You here from
Oh,
Florida?
Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Owwll Podcast here live at Podfest up here in Orlando. I am joined here with my amazing co-host, Dominica,
Hello.
and two amazing guests. I have Emilio to my immediate left, and I got Hugo to my second left. Hugo, why don't you introduce yourself?
Welcome, Hugo V, the 1% in recovery, where I talk about helping gamblers and alcoholics overcome addiction and just kind of get their life and just let them live their best life.
I love that.
Love
I
that.
love that. And Emilio, why don't you tell everybody, who you are, what you do?
My name is Emilio Roman. I do video marketing for a company called Brandtastic. I try to make brands interesting by telling their story.
Excellent, excellent. All right, I'm sure Dominica's got some questions for you guys, so watch out. Here she comes.
Yeah, I want to know, Hugo, how did you get that passion for helping addicts recover? So I want your backstory on that. How did that passion ignite?
The backstory is I thought it was something that I had to overcome and didn't realize it was actually a gift being an addict, a
Okay.
compulsive gambler and alcoholic over 20 years,
Wow.
and then now being in recovery over 25 years, that it kind of merged two things that I loved, speaking and recovery, and then finding podcasting to share that recovery can be a beautiful thing. It's not a negative thing, and that we can use it to overcome any other struggles you may have.
So you've been 25 years sober now, correct?
27 years without alcohol,
Congratulations.
24 years without
That's
gambling.
amazing.
Thanks.
So what do you think was the breaking point for your recovery? What do you think clicked and made that transition from an addict to recovery?
Well, for 3 years, I stopped drinking and I was gambling more, which gambling was my primary addiction. And it's like a lot of people, I'm tired of being tired. And I knew I needed help. It's just that internal question, where to go. And luckily, I was just open-minded and hungry enough that I kept finding, whether it was 12-step rooms, therapists, reading books, going to retreats,
Right.
just constantly searching people who knew more than I did.
I love that. And I think finding success always comes to that, finding new ways and never giving up. and knowing that there is an answer out there.
Wow. Very, very, very inspiring, to say the least. That's the thing about this podcast. Everyone that comes on here has a great, inspiring story to tell.
Right.
This is why everybody should tune in to the Owwll podcast, because you never know who's going to show up. You never know who's going to have something interesting to share that might just resonate. So bringing it over to you, Emilio. So tell everybody, by doing what you do and what you shared that you do, what do you get from that?
Well, I get an immense sense of joy because at the end of the day, it's like one of the like me and my colleagues and my classmates and stuff. When I have my master's in film production, 90% of them don't actually go into a field that's even related to what they're doing. They're working at Home Depot, or they're working basically any other job but the job they went to school for. And I feel so incredibly blessed to have an opportunity to do film, to continue doing filmmaking, not only for the company I work at, but on the side, I do feature films and short films. I do pretty much everything, trying to keep the lifeblood of Florida alive, because Florida is supposed to be a film state, but we're fighting so hard right now to get the incentives back. LA has incentives, Georgia has incentives, but Florida just needs a little bit more of a push, and then we can all get it done.
Well, I don't know if you've been following the news, but Florida might become the film state just due to natural disposition.
Just a little bit.
But all right, back to the track we're supposed to be on. So tell everyone then, for what you just shared, why is that important?
Well, it's important because I love creating. I love making films. I love sharing stories. I love creating stories, and the beauty of it is when we talk to like these different businesses, they don't know how to tell their story, and we get to go in on the ground and ask them, like, how'd you start? Why'd you start? What motivated you to be in this position? Why are you different from your competition? And then we create little videos to show and share with the world, and their businesses, 9 times out of 10, they start growing.
By pursuing that, and it sounds, tell me if I'm correct, this is a passion?
Oh, I'm so passionate about it.
All right, just making sure.
Just a little bit.
So by pursuing this passion, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great. It makes me feel fulfilled. It makes me feel lucky, and like it's hard to put into words just the excitement I feel to go into work every day and knowing I got a new project to do for literally any company across the United States.
Now, if we were to take a look at those feelings that you just described, and you take a walk in your mind's eye with those feelings and multiply them by 10x, tell everybody what you're feeling right now.
Well, I would feel elated.
I see you smiling.
I feel elated. I mean, the 10x journey for me would probably be doing like my own feature films instead of working on other people's. Like I'd help create my stories instead of helping create other people's. That would be the 10x goal, I would say.
Let's put a timeline to that. When do you want to reach it?
So I would say maybe 3 to 5 years, I'd probably be doing that.
3 to 5 months? Did I hear that?
3 to 5 months? Ooh, that's a lot. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I have to find the right people to make that happen.
Think bigger, my friend. Yeah. Think bigger.
Think bigger.
So you're one decision away from your whole paradigm shifting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I want you to marinate and noodle on that. Now we're going to bring it to you, Hugo. Hugo thought he was out of the hot seat.
I like the hot seat. It's fun. Bring it.
It's actually kind of cold outside,
It
so
is.
I have heat warmers in my truck, so I kind of appreciate the hot seat.
I'm from the South in Texas, so I'd rather have the heat than the cold.
I'm with you. Well, we're at the right table here. We'll tell everyone what's important about what you do. What makes it important to you?
Well, unfortunately, now in this country, there's this infatuation and this almost greed, thinking that you can get rich quick by gambling. And it's pushed every which way, whether it's every single sports league. You cannot watch any game without someone talking about some type of gambling prop game,
So true.
live betting. And I always tell people, it's not a fair fight. The gambling odds, the casinos, the sports books have all the odds. That's why they win, you lose.
Yeah.
Over time.
100%.
Everyone talks about, I had this great weekend. I just won X amount of money, or someone's going to win the lottery. But they love to promote that, so people have that dream world of the gambler. And I tell people, you're better off investing in yourself. So then you have $1 million idea in your brain. Just work it.
It's like listening to you, and we have to wrap it up, but I want to throw this zinger out there is from the gambling casino thing. You're getting into my world. They hire people like me to come in and create the machines, decide on the sounds, the lights. There's a reason casinos have no clocks or windows. We can talk all day on this. It's all hypnotic.
And then the free alcohol, they'll bring in women, they'll bring in all kinds of ways
You're
to
doing an
induce
amazing thing for people. Your challenge is getting that message out there to have it resonate and then really let them see what's happening and the blinders that are being pulled over their eyes. All right, we got to wrap it up. So you guys, Hugo, go ahead and just give a final plug. Tell everybody who you are and how they can find you.
The best way is just go to my website, lifeiswonderful.love, LOVE, where I help have free information, just either like a free scorecard, free videos, the podcast, where you can start to understand addiction, understand recovery. And my website is the perfect place to start. And then from there, you can go into all my other social media and then also tap into the podcast.
Awesome. And Emilio?
You could find me, you can find the company at Brandtastic1 on Instagram, or you can find me at Emilio versus the World on Instagram. You can find my short films. They'll be there.
Amazing. Well, for everybody that was watching, you got to just meet two amazing individuals out there making amazing things happen in the world. So keep tuning in. Make sure to visit their websites. Go to their Instagram pages. They're doing great things. And if you know someone that can benefit, make sure to send them their way too. Thanks for watching.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Guys.
Nice to meet you.
That was my.
Oh, 100%. Do you have a card?
Yes. I have this one.
All
I'm
right,
gonna have
perfect.
one more. But the
I
other
only
one-
need one. As long as does this get to you? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, you go.
Nice to meet you.
Absolute pleasure. Do you have a card on here?
Yeah, I'll get you one.
Yeah, we could talk about some stuff because for what you're doing, especially on the gambling side of things, with these casinos, what they do behind the scenes,
It's insane.
Fascinating.
Yeah, obviously the website, email, or just.
Thank you so much. I look forward to reading this. You have an amazing story.
Or South by Southwest.
Yeah, I'd love a card from you
I'm
too.
going to be in Austin in 2 weeks.
No, I know. Is that by going to South by Southwest or just go to Austin?
I'm
Period?
flying American Airlines. No, I'm doing a keynote. It's for a sales team.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to be in the state where everything's a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Get some barbecue, get some Cajun food.
I love
We'll
it.
feed you well.
That's what they're telling me. All right, be good. Oh,
Hi, welcome. How are you?
Good.
hi. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
I'm Gus. Pleasure to meet you.
Hi, I'm Dominica. Nice to meet you,
Nice to meet you.
Ashley. Let's do it.
All right, welcome to the Owwll Podcast. We are live here at Podfest up here in Orlando. I am joined by my amazing co-host, Dominica, and we have two amazing guests here. We have Gus and we have Ashley.
Hello.
Yes, I remembered their names. I just like the different colors. It's green and blue. Come on, people. Everyone's so judgmental out there, I'm
Okay.
telling you. All right. Huh?
Just trying to keep it interesting.
All right, Gus, why don't you tell everybody who you are, what you're about, throw something out there.
All right, I'm Gus Calabrese. I go by the events guy. We produce business conferences all over the world.
Nice.
Ashley and I happen to be a couple and own the businesses together. We spent the last
You two are a couple?
yes.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
I thought I saw a little
Married.
chemistry, but I don't like to,
Right, here's a cool thing. We've been together for 14 years. We've
All
paid for 4
right.
kids schooling together. Everything. We just got married in November.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's amazing.
So anyway, we produce business conferences, and then we do a live. We've been going live for a few years and we're going to turn that live program into a podcast.
Wow. All right. All right.
So that's
You got some exciting stuff going on
Reason
here.
we're here.
So why don't you guys tell everybody, why is it, or rather, what is it that makes you do what you do? What do you pull out of this? What do you get from it?
No, thank you so much for asking that question. It's really about seeing people connect either with an idea, with other people, with the information that they need, and just seeing the confidence that they get immediately from being among other people who are facing the same challenges.
Right.
And looking for the same answers. So our events, as much fun as they are, they build community, and that's what we're all about.
Amazing.
One of the things we do, we produce a conference for women.
Yeah.
And when we see their lives change and they thank us and they're crying and they have a realization like, oh my God, like life can be different than the way I've been doing it. And we've been doing that since 2017 and watching these women grow, and quite frankly, the men need it too. But watching these women grow is amazing.
Wow. And why don't you share with everyone what is probably the most dramatic change you saw over a weekend at one of these conferences you put on?
Personally, it was COVID for us because we produced in-person events.
Right.
But
Right.
that was pretty nuts. Now,
Our transformation. I think it's little things, right? It's never one thing, but seeing the light come on for people to see that moment where they realize that they're in control. So we had a woman who said, after I went through your workshop and your program, I realized like maybe I shouldn't hang out with my family as much as I was before because they were really the ones holding me back. We've seen people who've said, hey, there's no reason why I can't just ask for what I want. And then when they actually try it, they get what they want. And they're like, oh my God, this is life-changing. And I'm like, great. Yeah, keep doing that.
I know our last event,
Yeah.
there was a woman who came to the event who had been let go from her job. And they gave her a package.
Almost immediately.
Almost
It was
immediately. They gave her a few $1,000 package to get herself retrained. And she saw the event coming up. And she decided to come to the event 2 days before the event. And our events are they're a couple $1,000s to attend. They're not cheap. And she took a chance on herself and invested in herself and a chance of finding a job. And sure enough, the event led to her next career move.
That's
It's
amazing.
very interesting because the universe rewards action.
Absolutely.
When you invest in yourself, like a lot of people will stand on the edge of a fence and say, should I do this or should I not do this? But more often than not, when they do it with conviction, focus, and intention, it'll work out for them. Because if you don't put anything out there, if you don't put any skin in the game, to use an old cliche phrase, you're not going to get anything back.
It's so true. And Jeff, to your point, what we've seen is so few of us as human beings do what we want. So it's a very small percentage of us who take that step, right? Who just go, you know what, I'm just going to give this a try. And then it ends up working out so well. They're like, oh my gosh,
100%. Because the only time we really fail is when we stop trying. There's no such thing as failure. Failure only happens when you don't believe in yourself enough and you're not willing to try anymore. But if you're willing to try and put in the work, even if you're headed in the wrong direction, the universe will eventually lead you back to where you need to go.
It'll redirect you for sure. So
Always.
yes, we're all about helping women and men just get into action. Like, what is it that you've always wanted? What is stopping you? It's probably you. But here are some things that you can. It's always you.
It's always you.
Some things that you can do
Very true.
to put you into action, and it really is all about that. So,
What do you find to be the catalyst that gets somebody from being stuck and activating them to action?
Man, that's so interesting. You use that word. We help you get unstuck. Now, just find out what's really going on in their lives. Asking questions like, what do you? One of Ashley's favorite questions she asks people: what's your goal? What do you want to do in life? If you had unlimited amount of money, what would you be doing?
Yeah.
And then start peeling away.
So if money wasn't an issue,
What would you be doing? But a lot of people don't understand that. You can become successful in anything. Even selling ice. There's people selling ice, making millions of dollars.
To Eskimos, you could become so. Yeah,
Those are the real
they
deal.
need ice too.
I saw this guy the other day selling frozen fruit. It's not something new, but you just have that drive to do it.
Well, case in point, when I was a kid, I remember when bottled water hit the market, and everybody was laughing that they're selling water in a bottle.
That's funny.
That they would say that would never last. Yeah, look at it today. All right, we got to wrap it up. So I know you guys are fun. So go ahead. We're going to start with you, Ashley. Just give a little closeout. Tell everybody how they can find you and get in touch with you.
Fantastic. Thanks. My name is Ashley Baptiste with Conferences Connect. You can find me at utilityevents.com. So reach out. Would love to be in touch.
And I'm Gus, the events guy at Instagram.
Amazing. All right, everybody. You know where to find these two. Make sure to link up with them. And also, I always like to put out there, if you know someone that can benefit from their services, hey, sharing is caring. So go ahead and refer away. That's what we got. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. It's a pleasure.
You asked good questions.
It's a pleasure, guys.
Very nice.
Oh,
Nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
Ashley does. I
Okay.
don't.
What do I do?
social media.
What do you mean?
Get him a card.
Oh, yeah. See? I'm old fashioned that way.
Sure. Oh, I'm good.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm Dominica.
I'm Angela. Nice to meet you. Jeanette.
Jeanette, nice to meet you.
All right.
Fun. Let's go. No, it's fine.
Dominica, do you want to open this one?
Sure. Why not?
I've been opening them all, so. I'm just shy.
Oh. Definitely comes across now. No, not really.
We
I
ready?
did well.
Right.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Owwll Podcast. And I'm here with Jeff, my amazing co host. And we're here with two wonderful business owners, podcasters. I would love to know a little bit more about you and what brings you here.
I'm Angela R. Hughes. I am a fantasy author, 3-time published, have a trilogy out, 2 more books publishing this year. I'm also a writing coach, marketing coach, and I have a podcast called The Ink Mages, where we interview other fiction fantasy authors, as well as putting out there other clean reads authors for families searching for those fantasy books that their whole family can read. And we give writing craft tips on our podcast as well.
Woo!
So that's kind of what I'm up to.
Amazing.
And I'm Jeanette Peterson, and I am the founder of All the King's Women, which is a platform for Christian women that are trying to figure out how to make a business. And so we use a white label of Go High Level to help them do that. And then we do the operations and the automations for all of that, as well as coaching and podcasting. And my podcast is called Unapologetically Unstoppable, where we teach them how to build businesses in conjunction with the Holy Spirit.
Love it.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, it looks like we have two amazing people on today's podcast here. And then, like I always say, every time we do this, Owwll attracts like the best talent out there. I swear.
I mean, obviously.
Well, here, tell us all really quick, like by doing what you do and doing it, you on a daily basis, making it your passion, what do you get from it? What do you get from that?
It's so amazing that you get to see these women who are like stay-at-home moms who never thought they could amount to anything, or who are in the Christian space think that they're supposed to stay small and do all the things, realize that we are powerful. We can make 7 figures from home. We can do it while homeschooling. And just that shift in their brain, the freedom that they feel is worth it to me. Like every time I see one of them get released from the bondage of religious BS, I'm just like, yes, go. So that's what I do it for.
So what makes that important then?
Because I love God, but people use it as as a manipulation tool. And I'm just tired of that because that's not who God is in the Bible. The God that I know is a God of love, not of control. And so when I see people controlled, I was in the military also for 11 years. So like I'm hardcore anti-control now. So like, how do we get out of that control? How do we free ourselves? How do we have true freedom in our lives? And so it's going back to what the Bible actually says, and it's having that freedom to be who you were created to be, do what you want. My mom is here and she's probably mad, but I'm habitually ashy because I don't like lotion. And so like being able to be free without
we
without
just
lotion.
changed lanes, like literally to lotion. This is what I love about this podcast. Now we're going to talk about skincare.
But just like being free to be who you are and how God created you to be without anybody's voice.
And ultimately to take everything you just said, because everybody just heard that, you put it out there. What's even most important
is the freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Freedom.
It's all
That's
about, it all
freedom.
comes down to the freedom.
Yeah.
Because without freedom, what happens?
You're in bondage. You're doing something what everybody else wants you to do. We're all like, we all have these podcasts, right? We're at this podcast.
Depending who our audience is, you might have to describe bondage. We might be getting more listeners if they're hearing that word.
But like, we're all individual. We are made uniquely. So why would we put ourselves in a box? Like, why aren't we just doing the things that we're created to do? And not what people say they were supposed to do.
Excellent points. All right. Well, thank you so much. Angela, why don't you tell us, what's important about what you do?
I feel like storytelling impacts culture. You look at authors like C.S. Lewis and J.R. Tolkien, who doesn't know about those authors, the stories they write. I feel like it's a way to go beyond the veil and actually introduce people to ways to inspire them, create freedom for them, and also create opportunities for healing where they may have had walls up in other ways. So I find stories were very powerful for me growing up. And it became essentially important for me to start telling the stories that were bubbling in my brain. And there is just a point of contact with stories that really, really, really have influence on mindsets even, which is why stories can also be very dangerous, right? And I have huge themes in my stories about how to deal with grief, how to deal with bondage or generational things that have been handed down, and how a story can talk about how someone can walk through that and there's still hope. I'm a huge proponent that there is always hope. The darkest can always come, but there is always joy in the morning. But it doesn't always feel that way as we're walking through life. And again, storytelling has huge impact on bringing people out of their darkest night and showing them even when the worst comes, and then it comes again, and then it comes again. Is there a reason to still keep getting up and going?
Everything has a source. So why does this matter to you?
I think part of it matters to me because I have a fantastic imagination. I mean, I am a super nerd when it comes to swords, dragons, and all the things. I'm definitely that person. But it's important to me because I was affected by stories. I remember one of the very first books I read as a child was The Princess and the Goblin by George MacDonald. And it opened my eyes to the reality that there was more behind the story than just simple storytelling. I was amazed. Even as an 8-year-old kid, I knew that there was something more to this story than just a little girl and this grandmother up in an attic and goblins, right? There was a lot more to the story, and it affected me so deeply that I began to continue to pick up books and read. And it is also important to me just as a mother. I think that reading opens doors to opportunities in everybody's life. And kids need to be reading, but they also need to be finding those stories that inspire them to make them want to read in the first place.
Yeah, most definitely. I love that.
Well, to sum up what you said, if I was to boil it all down in a big cauldron with witches standing around under purple skies and lightning, the nugget we would have at the bottom, and tell me if I'm right or wrong here, I'm going to term it hope. You're giving people hope.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
To know that they can change.
Yes.
In a direction they want to go.
Oh, and even more than that, the hope comes in a lack of fear of suffering.
Yeah.
I think people are so afraid of suffering. They're so afraid of the bad that can come, when really it's the suffering and the failure that actually brings us to that point of redemption.
1000%.
And so essentially important to me in my storytelling that suffering isn't the worst door to walk through.
Well, not to get all philosophical, but it's very difficult to have a solid concept of pleasure without a real concept of pain.
Absolutely.
Right.
One balances the other out. That's why sometimes when you see well, here, let me put it this way. People who've grown up in the lap of luxury their entire life, they only know higher levels of pleasure. So their version of pain is what might be someone else's oasis in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all relative.
Right.
There's this Arabic proverb that says, if it's sunny all the time, you'll have a desert. And it's so true. You can't appreciate the good that you have in your life without the suffering. And the founder of NVIDIA the other day said, greatness and successful people don't come from their knowledge. It comes from their suffering. And I can attest to that. Like, I wouldn't have become the person that I am if I wouldn't have gone through all the pain, suffering, and tears that came through my life. And I'm so grateful. And I wouldn't have had it any other way. But so many people need to understand that there is a light, within the tunnel. And this just shapes you to become the best version of yourself if you learn to love and appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so good.
So let me ask this, because I think our listeners would really appreciate this from both of you, because it sounds like you both had at one point that aha moment, which said, I'm going to do this. I'm all in. I'm not looking back. What was that?
So I was in the military, and I was in the military for 11 years, and my goal was like retirement. And so like when I got out of the military, I got out for medical reasons. And so it was an unexpected leaving of the military. And I was like, now what do I do with my entire life? Like, what now what? And I was pregnant and I was moving across the country. So I was like, I have nothing.
That breaking point.
Yeah, that was it. So I was like, I have to do something. And like, how can I help other people do what I do? So I'm really good at tech. So I was like, let me help them with their tech. Let me help them with all the things. But that was the breaking point that was like, I'm going to use the skills I have in a new way and figure this out. I got to go for the ceiling. I got to go for it.
Have you crossed the finish line?
No, there's no finish line.
Just getting started, huh? I like it.
It's the journey. It's not the destination.
Yeah. The question was, again,
What was the aha point when you decided that you were going to literally switch gears and do this?
it was always in me, but storytelling, I hadn't had that aha moment that storytelling was as important as it was. And that there was a good reason for doing it, but there was this moment, and it actually came while I was in Northern Ireland. I was standing actually on the hill that had the stone table that inspired C.S. Lewis's The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe right behind me. And I was looking out, and a friend wrapped his arm around my shoulder and he says, when are you going to write that book? And there was something about that moment where I understood that there was a mandate to write, and that it was important, and that it wasn't just a good idea or a hope or something cute and creative, but something that actually could be effective and powerful. And kind of from that moment, I never turned back, sacrificed a lot of things, and just started writing. So.
Wow. I love it. So it's like for both of you, it's that source of unlimited power that it's not an option.
Unlimited.
It's kind of like, I don't think, like not taking a shower one day. It's like, it's what you do. It's part of what you do. It's in your identity.
Yes.
You cannot ignore it.
Yeah.
You have to follow it. You have to run with it. And it probably possesses your mind 24/7, 7 days a week.
Yes.
You take a day off and you're feeling guilty. And that guilt is meant to bring you back into alignment of what you're here to do. And that's a huge distinction that we're making here. The difference between purpose
Yes.
and then just passing time.
Right.
Yes.
Purpose will bring you to fulfillment. Passing time will leave you in regret, wondering what you could have been. So the next question you both have to look at and answer is, what is the next level? Because you both are impact makers. You're making an impact. And what good is an impact on a scale of 1 to 10 if it's like a 5 or a 6? When we all know, come on, you wouldn't be here if you didn't feel like you could be a freaking 10 and then blow up the 10 scale and go to a 20.
Let's go.
Let's just keep going. What does it look like? Because we still have time. I'm used to getting the cutoff like way early. So let's just run with it.
So for me, it's the platform. It's a platform of women in a community where we actually believe that we can take on the world.
Oh, you already believe it.
Oh, yeah.
That belief is there. So where you're actually taking on the world, okay.
We're actually taking on the world. We are affecting change. We are changing the trajectory of the nations through money, right? We have to have the income in order to go to Congress and change the.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. We're changing laws. We're changing the trajectory. We're affecting people. That's the next step.
I love it. When's this happening?
Today. What do you mean?
No, the next
Right
level
now.
you talked about. Well, give it a timeline because we got to set a date. When do we need this to happen? Within a year?
The platform is being created now.
Okay.
So give me about a year to get all the people on board.
All right. So 6 months. Now you're up.
Let's go.
You know, I mean, the next step for me is I'm just going to continue to write these stories. I've got 2 more books coming out this year. I'm very excited about them. And enabling others to do the same. And I think that's, you know, part of the podcast that I have and then the coaching is that there are so many people with stories inside them and they think they just have this good idea, but it's not important. And the essentialness of that, if there is a story floating in your mind, in your imagination that will not let you go, there is a reason it's there. And it's not just for the background. It's meant to be written down. And there is somebody who will be profoundly affected by the story that is told. And there's room for everybody at the table. And I think that's an important thing is we think, oh, everybody else is doing it. No, there is room for everybody. Just be consistent.
I love it. Okay, so what's your timeline? When is this all done by? What you just said?
well,
What you just said, when is that done by? No,
So-
meaning you're done.
Well, the next books that are going to be published will be 2025. There's a lot of work once the books are done going into that. And then the timeline of just, I guess for me this year, really, you know, even coming here to Podfest, finding ways to make that impact happen this year. Pull more people in this year, making that influence and platform grow without feeling like it's an impossible task. So I guess those are the things that I'm doing this year, hitting the ground running now.
There was one challenge. You could just snap your fingers and move it out of the way. Just visualize it. It's gone. What is that challenge that you would choose to just snap away?
I would remove marketing and let somebody else do it for me.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
So
mean-
what's stopping you from doing that?
You know, there's a lot of things that have to be built, I feel like, for that handoff, you know. But it's not out of the realms of possibilities. And definitely,
I like that.
I'm kind of a proficient. If that's what you want and desire, you can go after it and it can happen. It's not impossible. It can be learned. It can be handed off. And yet at the same time, you know, I was talking about suffering. You know, I may not like some of the things that I've had to learn. You know, I'd love to just be able to sit at a computer and write books. That's what I would love to be doing. And yet all of these skills that I have been forced to learn have made me have even greater impact than I thought I would have just writing books.
I love
so, I mean, I can't be sad about that.
Well, and also a way of looking at this too, to reframe it a little bit, is it's not so much that you're forced to learn, but rather it's the universe testing your commitment to the outcome that you have decided to achieve, because the universe is always going to throw things at you to see how committed you are.
Right.
And if you're ultimately truly committed, you're gonna listen. I don't like everything I have to do every day, but my outcome is more important than, it's like, you know, who likes to change baby diapers? I've never met somebody who just goes, oh, baby diaper time, I can't wait. But no, they love their child.
Right.
So they're going to change its diaper. So yeah, that's where you're at. You know, we just
at
get
the end of the
tested along
day,
the way.
As an entrepreneur and as a business owner, there comes a point where you must focus on what you're good at. If you really want to 10x and even 2x your business, what am I good at and how can I create the best team around me to generate that success and take me to that next level? Because unless you're trying to stay small, focusing on everything is going to get you nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of business. You have to hire those experts that know what they're talking about and know what field they're in to push you to that next level. And I think as a business owner, investing in the right people is the most important thing that you can do. And understanding that there's people willing to help you to get you from A to B and B to C and C to D that aren't necessarily trying to, take all your business. Because when people think about marketing, they're like, oh my God, this is going to be so expensive. I can't afford it. It's just me and my business. I need to try to learn it and do it all myself. But are you trying to walk to your destination, or are you trying to get there in a car? It's like, well, from Miami to Orlando, are you going to walk? Are you trying to take the donkey, or are you going to take the car and get there faster and more efficiently?
It's
So
true. And it's also, too, to add to what you just said, is it's about being open to the opportunities. Like, I can't
Right.
speak for anyone else except myself with regards to this, but my growth and my journey, my mentors, my teachers, and my guides have not been the ones that you're going to see mass marketed, that are going to be all over your Instagram. They're individuals who I've met in random, obscure places. They've showed up, and at least I was smart enough, aware enough, and in touch with the moment enough to know what was sitting right there in front of me.
Right.
Literally, like one of my coach, who I work with, this is an individual you'll never find, you'll know nothing about. Only some of your top world leaders and intelligence agencies on planet Earth know who he is. 80 years old, lives in New Hampshire, and an individual I just happened to meet at a convention. We had a conversation, and he's been my guide mentor for many years now. But at least when he showed up right there in front of me and I saw him and I recognized that, I took the next step to say, what do I have to do to work with you? And this is the thing. The universe is always putting stuff in front of us. The question is are we awake and aware enough to recognize it? Oh, did he give us the done? Listen, well, I'll just keep going.
It was so good. I was like, come on.
Oh yeah, well, we can continue this, but here, since he's pulling the plug, give a little final on, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, and your Instagram, your website, your blood type, your social security number, your bank account. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, to get a hold of me, you can go to AngelaRHughes.com. All information about podcasts, where you can find my books, and just all of the fun, nerdy fantasy things that you could ever love, you can find on that website. So yeah, go to my website, AngelaRHughes.com, and check out all of the fun details.
Awesome.
So the platform is being created. The podcast is called Unapologetically Unstoppable. It's kind of a mouthful, but it is amazing. So go find that. And the platform is allthekingswomen.com. So just go to allthekingswomen.com, join the platform, join the community, and we're just rocking and rolling.
Let's go.
Awesome. Well, you heard that, guys. You know where to find these two amazing people. And if you know anyone that can benefit from their services and what they do, remember, sharing is caring. So make sure to refer people over to them. And that's what we got. Thanks for watching.
Find them on the Owwll podcast.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, you guys.
So nice to meet you. I'd love to get a card from you.
Oh, yes.
Learn more about what you do.
What a pleasure. Awesome. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
We're done? That's it. We're out. All right.
Thank you so much. You have a card or anything?
Yes. Sally over there?
Yes.
I might have some ideas for you.
Do me a favor really quick.
Yeah.
I'm a sponge at this point, just ready to go wherever I need to go.
Do me a favor really quick before everybody comes on. You might give me a picture. Yeah.
Really,
If you could, that'd be great. No, just
I like your story.
Jeff wants to join me. That'd be great. Here, let me 1 second.
Someone said the bondage word. You're like, you can put that in the visual creative minds.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care.
I know, it's so good. Thank you. It's super good. Thank you. All right. Thank
You
you.
done? Oh, all right. Oh, all right.
Hi, how are you?
All right. That's fun. Get kicked out of here now.
That's fine. That's fine. We could just interview you.
Huh? You can interview me if you want.
Instead of you being a host, I could interview him. Yeah.
Sure.
You sit over here.
The host goes in the hot seat. Where should I sit?
Where should we sit
I
here?
sit
Should
right
we
here. Here.
host here?
Okay.
Sure. Or he could come closer.
I know.
I think it's
Yeah,
not
I'm gonna
very
move over
warm.
one.
It's not very warm, in my
Yeah, I was
opinion.
gonna say, that feels like this.
Do I need to do a thank you Celsius? I don't believe in caffeinated.
So I go from the one holding the rifle to the one in the crosshairs.
Yeah, exactly. It's good because we don't know each other.
Huh? Do you want to be interviewed?
Do you want to be interviewed too? Are you guys together or no?
Well, we were just hosting the
Oh,
last
you were
podcast,
hosting.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
come be interviewed, but with me. You'll flip flop. Let's keep it going. I'm Laura. We're about to get to know each other.
That's it.
That's awesome. Okay, we're getting going. Hello, welcome to Owwll Podcast live from the incredible PodfestExpo.com here in Orlando, SeaWorld, 10th anniversary. And we're doing a little flip-flop. We just had some amazing hosts who introduced themselves. We have Jeff and Dominica. Is that right?
Dominica.
This is not Angela. I'm Laura Frank Bernard, and I am a dear friend of Jason. I'm one of the lead brand ambassadors in terms of getting a significant amount of people on the Owwll app. I believe in Owwll. I think the whole concept of people connecting is absolutely essential. I think people are meant to connect.
One-on-one, and we're missing that human aspect of connection. We're on social media, we're texting, we're emailing all the time, and you can't really put, trust into that.
Exactly. So what I'd like to do is, people know who I am. I've been on Owwll Podcast before. You guys may have as well. But tell us about who you are, and outside of Owwll, just tell us about who you are and why you do what you do and why you do what you do.
You wanna start?
Girls first. Ladies first.
Girls
All
first.
right, ladies
Okay,
first.
put
Yeah,
me on
girls
the
rule.
spot. Well, I'm Dominica, and I have a marketing agency powered with AI, and I'm really passionate about helping people build their personal brands and their business, understanding that marketing is ever changing and it's happening faster than ever. A lot of business owners and entrepreneurs can't keep up with that, unfortunately, because it is changing at such a rapid speed. So for me, it's about educating and helping people get from A to B and from B to C and helping them in each step and process of their business.
Now, when you say powered by AI, so I use AI a lot. I educate entrepreneurs on AI. So have you created your own proprietary tool, or are you using ChatGPT and other types of infused AI, maybe some proprietary, maybe some not, but say powered by AI? Do you have your own SaaS platform?
So I use different softwares with
Okay.
AI, and I hate ChatGPT. I think it's the worst, especially for marketing specifically. So
Yeah.
I take the best softwares out there. It could be for video, photos, graphic creation, being able to understand your customer and get better and faster results than ever that are precise and are going to
Right.
reach your target audience.
So there are so many AI tools, right? Came out, went just explosive growth. I know I was one of the early adopters of when ChatGPT came out, ChatGPT Plus and Midjourney,
right.
11 Labs, all these, right?
Yep.
And when it was just like incredible, like Discord groups that were just like,
It happens so
right?
quickly. And
So what are your top 3 tools for entrepreneurs?
So I actually have a resource book that I came out
Okay.
with not long ago that goes over the 5 best AI tools for marketing specifically. So some of my favorites is I love Midjourney for graphic design. I think it's incredible. If you know how to use correct wording and prompting, you can get the
Right.
exact result that you want
Right.
without having to go and get a stock image or specifically spend money on a graphic designer. I love Gling for video editing. Anybody who's doing a podcast, is doing social media, needs to be on Gling because it automatically takes any bad cuts. It does the zooms. It makes the audio better if you don't have, a professional mic set.
Right.
And I love Claude. Claude AI, you can take so much information and feed it and really get it to identify so many problems and solutions for your business.
Very cool. Jeff, welcome and nice to meet you. And thanks for hosting the last hour and a half.
Thank you for having me.
And now one more question. Where's home base? And I'm a digital nomad, so I'm kind of all over.
I'm a digital nomad too at heart. I'm in Fort Lauderdale for the
Okay.
time being.
Okay. My legal address was Lighthouse Point last year.
Love it.
So, yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I'm Jeff Schmidt. I'm a performance strategist. And what I do is I work with entrepreneurs, executives, companies, teams, really helping them redefine what is possible, getting ultra clear as to the present moment. As somebody who started, built, and sold 3 companies, I've been in the trenches. I've been there, done that, came out alive somehow to be able to do what I do today. And, one of the key pains you see coming up time and time again is really the lack of organization, people being able to organize their thoughts and get clarity. And that in and of itself can literally create just dramatic shifts. Imagine for a quick second, waking up every morning, not with an idea of what you need to do or what's important, but absolute clarity to have the certainty and the strength from the moment you open your eyes to immediately know and identify a distraction from a priority and being able to move in that direction sure-footedly. Now, here's the thing. If I ask an audience of 5,000 people, 4,999 will probably raise their hand and say, oh, I can do that. But here's the reality. If you take a closer look and you shut off the lights in the auditorium, you shut off all the sound, and then you tell them to take a walk inside themselves and really explore their inner truth, guess what? There'll then only be one person in the entire auditorium that really has that together. And by being able to have that ability and enabling people to be able to do that, now they can not just scale, grow, and reach levels in their business that they only dreamt about and thought was possible, but now they can see, touch, and feel it. And what consequentially happens with that? The way you do one thing is how you do everything, baby.
Yep, exactly.
Your relationships get better, your relationships with your kids. Now, everyone watching, I am not a life coach. Do not even look at me like that. I'm not a dating coach. I'm not a relationship coach. I'm none of that. I'm not a coach. I'm a performance specialist.
Yeah.
But because of what I do is going to holistically affect that entire area. I help you adopt a nicer mindset. You become a nicer person. You become a nicer leader. You become more respected within your organization, your friends.
I always say that people, our team members, don't leave companies; they leave leaders.
100%.
Leaders just it's not fun, life, and especially this next generation. I have today's my youngest 22nd birthday, so they go from 22nd to 29, and 5 weeks more. I'm gonna have a grandbaby.
Oh, congratulations! It's
So
exciting.
we'll go from the B5 to the B6, but I see it in my kids even more. I actually am 60, just turned 60, and I started on Wall Street, and I came in M&A, and I came from the type A 80-hour work weeks, no life balance, perfectionist, drive hard,
Drive by or die.
Exactly. And that just, in the long run, it actually is not healthy. And even though it's health and fitness and again, extreme Ironmans and things like that, it just was that it catches up with you, and the universe kind of gives you a wake-up call. And so we're not going to talk about my story, but let's switch that, because I do find I consult with startups and founders from young generation founders all the way up to a gentleman who's 71, who's doing his last 3 years of scaling a business pre-exit. And you do end up talking with people about, how are you doing? And, I started working out again. Like, you are not a life coach, but you're an advisor becomes a friend, because you're, again, like you're working with the whole person.
It's holistic. And
you probably do too from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah, most definitely.
Working with entrepreneurs is different than working with massive corporate.
Well, mental health in today's world more than ever. We've never hit a time, place, and space in history where we have such access to information.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. It's absolutely overwhelming. Everybody thinks they're supposed to do this, and that. Everyone's trying to sell everyone on this, and that to take them off their center. And the truth of the matter is You have a lot of people competing today to scale their businesses, grow their businesses, and become more successful without awareness of what the real price is. We pay for everything. And with clarity on what you're paying for, we can move forward with two eyes open, strong and firm, and you will have that level of balance in your life. But so many people are doubling down on the sales. They're doubling down on the mark, the doubling down on the parts of their business without looking at the other sides of their life to balance out. Is this really who I am? How many, what is it? Like suicide is at an all-time high for CEOs.
And for kids.
Yeah,
it's
insane. It's
insane.
overwhelming.
But I mean, if we really look at it, people nowadays haven't ever been so unhappy and so overworked and so overinformed. And everybody, looking at social media thinks everybody's got it figured out. But the reality is, even the most successful business owners that I've talked to are figuring it out day by day. They don't know everything. And you're always needing more information and needing somebody by your side, a great team member, a great coach, a great strategist to align you to get you where you want to be. Because at the end of the day, as a business owner, you have to be able to balance a lot. And you can have it all and maybe not at one time, but how are you going to get to that? Because at the end of the day, success isn't about how much money you have in your bank account. It isn't. I'm sorry, but you can have $1 million and you're going to be crying in your Ferrari. I don't want that. I want to be able to have the health of my dreams. I want to have a healthy body when I get old. I want to have great relationships, and I want to have a thriving business. And you won't be able to get there if you don't find somebody that's going to help you balance everything. And you need to understand when and how to delegate.
Well, and to what you said, there's so much value in that, because when you understand what it is you're doing and what it is that motivates you to do what you're doing, then all of a sudden the paradigm shifts.
Yeah.
It shifts completely, because now there's an understanding behind it, instead of like, oh my God, I have more to do. Or wait, I got to go to my kid's soccer game. And oh, wait, it's my wife's birthday.
Speaking of that, how many kids do we have collectively? Any kids?
0.
I used to have 2 Chihuahuas, and they have 4 legs.
Well, I'm an empty nester and digital nomad, so I have 4 kids and a grandbaby on the way. But I feel like my kids are kind of baked, so I get to kind of enjoy.
I love that. I mean, I hope to have kids one day. I'm not at that stage of life yet. I definitely want that balance.
During the pandemic, Buffett said, the new wealth is freedom of location and your health. And when you wake up every morning and you can smile and you can walk in a room like this and you can walk in front of a mic and talk, it's a joy to be alive. So it's an honor to talk to you guys. I look forward to talking to you on Owwll.
Yeah.
One last thing. What have you enjoyed most about the Owwll app? We're going to talk to a gentleman who was actually in our Marine Corps in a minute, or a couple minutes, but we're in no rush. My hashtag, my theme for the year, the last 3 years, friends of mine have advised to pick one word for the year to kind of like center you. So 23 was aligning with people, places, and things that kind of I was a magnet toward as opposed to repelled. And last year was energy, kind of being around the energy that fuels you.
Right.
And this year is patience.
Not
be the patient, but be patient.
Be patient. I love that one.
How about you guys? What about Owwll has really that you've enjoyed being on Owwll?
I love Owwll because it gives you one-on-one access to anybody. And I love that you can call and build that relationship. When on other social platforms, you have to reach out with a message, and it's usually people scamming you or spamming you on LinkedIn. I hate LinkedIn. So I think Owwll is the best alternative to that. You can get one-on-one instant connections on a real phone call with specialists in every single area of business across the country. And I think there's really nothing better than that. I love that. And I really believe that your net worth is your network. So use it to your advantage. Call people. Don't be afraid, because you're just one call away. You're one person away from having the business of your dreams. So I love that. And I love that you said patient, because we are in a society that glorifies instant gratification and they want things so quickly. And at the end of the day, that's just not how success works.
I can't wait to talk to each of you guys on Owwll and hit the extension button.
Love it.
Everything she said. Nah, Owwll's an amazing app. The ability to just connect with people like that, one-on-one, it's priceless. That's an amazing feature. And if anybody's watching this right now that's not on the app, you need to download it and take it for a spin, because once you drive it around the block once, you're probably going to keep it. I absolutely love the Owwll. All three of us are on the Owwll. And I love Jason. I know the backstory. So he's one of the hardest workers I've ever met on planet Earth. So
Yeah, he is.
He's your quintessential founder, and he's created not
Love
just
it.
the MVC, minimal viable concept. He's gone all the way to a fully fledged minimal viable product. He's self-funded it. And I think it's really up to all of us, brand ambassadors and people on Owwll and those listening, download the Owwll app and take it for a spin. Connect with one of us, connect with the thousands of people on Owwll, and then refer. And if you refer, then you get an amazing $10 bonus. What app gives you a $10 bonus? I brought thousands of people on other apps, and I didn't even get a
you
shirt.
got nothing.
Right? Fireside, for instance, Mark Cuban's backed social audio app, thousands of hours of content. And when they chose to shift their focus, they dumped all of our content. So Paul Votto and I lost lots of podcasts.
Wow.
And Owwll is an amazing app. Jason's a great founder.
100%.
Throw away LinkedIn and get on L.
There you go.
Yeah.
I recently had a bit of a concussion, so I have a little bit of like brain recall. So like when I was like, what the fuck is the name of this? It isn't nerves. It's like literally.
Well, it'll get better for them. So sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all part of that, journey.
The journey.
Can't take the car. Can't drive the Lamborghini every day.
Exactly. But as long as you have a destination you're going to, take whatever car keys are available.
Now, are you guys together? Or you just
work
met?
together.
You work together. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We do the Monday show, and we have an awesome event coming up in Miami next Friday.
Okay.
Workshop for entrepreneurs and business
Nice.
owners. We're really
Do you
excited
work in
about that.
tandem with FAU or any of those types of
I
things?
have
or
not.
Your own?
It's actually one of my clients is FAU.
Okay, very
Yeah.
cool. I've really enjoyed when I've come down and visited Jason. I went to a couple of
he's good
I
ass.
went to a couple of TEDx. Cindy, I love Cindy.
Oh, she's amazing.
She's awesome. I think it's super weird being here. I think we're going to be right here. Can't we just be right here? It's super weird because I'm not even staring at. Oh, we have more people. Okay. Okay, perfect. Right. Okay.
Is that okay?
Let's do girl, boy, girl. Okay. Need my bud.
That's right.
How are you doing?
What's up? How are you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got a little bit of video, but I need, the iPhone doesn't have noise canceling when you're videoing.
Oh, I know.
So you hear all this stuff
All
in the
the
background.
sounds.
Yeah. Ready to go. Okay, we are live here again and at the amazing Podfest.Expo here in Orlando, 10th anniversary with a whole slew of amazing podcasters across sectors. So take a look at the event itself for sure. And we are here live on the Owwll Podcast live in Orlando with some amazing individuals. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. And ladies first.
Okay. Hi. So exciting to meet you, Laura. My name's Elaine Williams. My company is Captivate the Crowd, and my podcast is Captivate the Mic.
Wow.
So I help female entrepreneurs show up powerfully on stage, on podcasts, on videos. I'm also a comedian and an Amazon best-selling author, so I love to bring the fun.
Well, tell us about the book and where we can get it on Amazon or other places.
Absolutely. I have a couple of books. But
Okay.
I guess the latest one is called The Power of Community, and it's on Amazon. It's a group book, and I'm working on my own again. So.
Very cool. And what did you do in the earlier parts of your, after you got out of high school, and what are some of the things that like your first decade of working and
Oh God. Well, I grew
what were
up
you
in a very
passionate about?
I grew up in a really dysfunctional, crazy Texas family.
We're all from dysfunctional families.
Yeah, but we, there was like abuse and trauma just on the
Yeah.
way to school. That's
Yeah.
a joke. But anyway, so I moved to New York and got sober all at the same time, which I wouldn't recommend, but that's what I did. And then people kept saying, "You're really funny. You're really funny." And I was like,
my
"I'm
gosh.
supposed to be the next Meryl Streep." And when New Yorkers tell you you're too intense, it's not a good look. So anyway, I fell into improv, fell into comedy, and then I started speaking. Yeah,
female.
woo, intense, right? And I started speaking on college campuses and military bases,
Wow.
trying to educate and empower people.
You guys know each other.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we just
Yeah.
met. We just met.
Oh, okay.
But
We know each other now.
So I came in as a funny eating disorder girl, and then my topics kept morphing into drugs, alcohol, and then finally sexual assault. And I was talking about that before it was so mainstream. And now I'm grateful that I've kind of passed that torch.
Yeah.
And now I'm really passionate about helping women find their voices and also using humor to create positive workplace culture, whether you're working for yourself
Right.
or in your relationships.
I'll tell you a little secret because I told my good friend yesterday. I've been fortunate that as a probably shy or introverted child, became kind of extroverted because of athletics and my career itself. So put me in front of a mic like this, I'm fine. Put me in front of a audience to speak. But when I'm sitting around at like a business table or a hangout at family and somebody tells a joke, I'm like, literally, will you like tell me when to laugh? I can't tell you how many times I don't, something in my mind, I do not often get jokes. So like that and having to go dress shopping or heels. But other than that, I'm good. But
I get it. No, I mean, every once in a while, it's a weird subjective joke or like not. I was just helping one of my clients yesterday for the comedy showcase. And we were talking about how like sometimes a joke will work in the South and people don't know
Yeah.
about Little Debbie in the North,
right.
whatever. And
Or in
so-
like Africa. I was telling
Right,
him also
yeah.
like South Africa, they'll send me something and I forget what it was. And it basically, to me, it's kind of like say no more, which is like, shut up, basically. Like that's enough. Like to them, it's like spot on. Like it's
Right.
totally different.
right, different vibe. Yeah.
So how has the when did you get on the Owwll app? Did you just recently?
Just now.
Okay. Well, we look forward to talking to you on the Owwll app. When you first get on the Owwll app and you download it, you will want to do 10 rapid calls because the way it's set up is you do your first 10 calls at $1 and then you begin to monetize your knowledge. And you can set up your first 10-minute price and then you can set up a 5-minute extension and a 20-minute extension at different prices. But when you download the Owwll app, definitely get those first 10 calls. And those of us that are on the Owwll app, we really look for those people that says new and give them the opportunity to meet them and get through that first 10 calls because we're all busy.
Cool. Thank
So-
you.
My friend, you going
Good
to
to
rap
see you.
for us a little bit?
Oh my
We were at
God.
karaoke last night.
Oh, how
How much
fun.
longer did you stay?
Maybe 30 minutes. I didn't
Okay.
stay that much longer now.
Yeah. That was a pretty good event.
I had an awesome time. I had food, I had cake.
Oh, did you eat
I
that
had a
cake?
little
Was
cake.
insane.
It was insane.
There was cake?
I had
I
a
missed
little, not a
cake?
lot.
There
Damn
was
it.
pizza, there was cake, there was an open bar.
Yeah, man. It was good
Who
times.
was the guy who hosted that?
I don't know his
I
name,
forget.
but
He's a
wanted people to have fun.
he's like
I
built
like
a
that.
huge karaoke community somehow. And
Well, he's got a karaoke podcast.
karaoke podcast. Okay.
He's got a karaoke podcast, so
Oh,
it
wow.
makes sense to do
Yeah.
a whole
Ah,
event
Yeah.
with karaoke. So it was really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think this event, I'm impressed. Like I've been to a lot of, I've been fortunate. I've been to the CES show, TechCrunch, Toronto, all kinds of, tech conferences, food conferences. And I know there's
Yeah.
a lot of other things going around them, but this feels very warm and welcoming. And the app they're using is super cool.
Good people, good vibes.
Yeah, and now
Very
they
good
have
vibes.
this military creator connection that you were in for yesterday night. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I was here to speak for the Military Creator Conference.
Oh,
And
cool.
so, we had lots of good conversations about like where tech is going and how people can leverage their experience and their knowledge in different ways, leaving the military, like what's the next stage for them. And it was amazing. Lots of brilliant people, obviously, sharing good stuff.
I mean, it seems to me like, and you specialize in helping people from the military monetize their knowledge, right? Is one of the things that you do?
in that particular context, yes, because I was speaking to military and my background, I come from that thread, because I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps. But essentially, we help all kinds of brilliant people. Most of them are authors, speakers, coaches, but people that are looking to make themselves more scalable, get on stages, get on platforms. We help them create these like infrastructure for monetizing their knowledge and their attention and their awareness.
So when someone is thinking about getting on stages, both to promote themselves, to promote maybe their brand. We all know that startups fail more often than not. So another year or two, it's another brand. So it's just part of it. Don't beat yourself up, folks. Even in the VC world, 75% of their investments do not go forward.
Keep going.
You keep going.
And you
It's
pivot.
as good to shut something down and go to the next as it is to keep it going. But also have patience. But
can I say something? So I love that you're helping the military. I did some comedy benefits for the Army at Fort Drum, and I was so moved by the stories. I got to know these waitresses at a comedy club I was working, and they would tell me it's like being a single mom. I just really got the insider scoop, and I feel like the average American has no clue what the whole military family goes through. For years and years and years. And I also have a special place in my heart because so many times people come back from the military, from serving, and they don't have support. They don't have that re-entry. Hey, we taught you how to be non-human and to go kill or whatever. And now welcome back. And so I'm so excited that there's more support and resources and that people are connecting more, because I think it's such a tragedy, and I'm
you
really
work with people in the military and beyond, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of the people that I've worked with aren't even military. I just happen to be military. So yesterday was kind of one of my opportunities to share more with that community, how they can make like a smoother transition, right? To your point, when you're in the military, you're going down a specific track. You have a skill set, you have things that you're training on over a long period of time, and then when you leave, what do you do then, right? You've got to rediscover your family, your mindset, your health, right? And then also like what your focal point is for the life that you want to live. So yesterday I was speaking to that particular community, and I've done that before. Like I've spoken at the Military Influencer Conference for several different years, just because I think it's important for those people to get that ability to make that transition. But most of the people that we work with, they are authors or speakers or podcasters, right? Like they are making their voice known, but that is one stage of it. Like what happens after you get the attention and the awareness? And that is kind of where people fall off the rails. They don't know how to make this a living or to thrive from it, even though they have the attention. So that by itself is a different challenge to solve, but it's a special thing to be a part of.
I was kind of thinking, and my brain's always brainstorming, but this is me on the Owwll app. And one of the things that I think could be kind of interesting, I'd love to talk to you and Jason after the event, but we have a community aspect on here. So I know our community move was one of the early ones, but you can hear, potentially we could do something with military, whether we do it
I would love that.
Let's talk afterwards, whether we do it by individual or just the holistic military or military vets, so that people know, wow, because I feel like there's a warmth when you meet someone in the military in America, you're immediately saying thank you for your service.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Well, they've been through some stuff, man.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has their own journey, but like there's a lot to go through.
Yeah.
And so, and it says something about what they are, who they are as a person too,
And people want to do business with people from the military. So having a distinction of some kind.
I think that would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
let's do it, Laura. Let's do it.
We got two ideas going, right? We got a karaoke idea. Shh. And we've got we now have a.
That's what happens at Podfest. Possibility.
Yeah. You meet people. And so what else would you like to share?
Well, I would love to know a little bit about you. Like if people are just tuning in, Laura.
So a little bit about me. First of all, I am
awesome.
So happy to be here because I have known Jason since he pitched during Clubhouse. We built a very large community called the Pitch Club, where hundreds of over 100 mods from all over the world in the venture capital, angel investor community, and ex-executives would share their knowledge daily. We did about through 2 to 4 hours of programming, 7 days a week. We reached probably over 1 million people, but it's obviously died since since the pandemic. But Jason came in, and on Sunday, I'm the co-founder of the club now. The original founder is Sohail Khan, the joint venture expert from the United Kingdom, and Jason came in to pitch Owwll, and it's early when it was still in test flight.
Okay.
So he came in, and I was like, "Whoa, I got to talk to you. I really love the idea of connecting people. I myself lost 7 digits in my own self-funded startup around connecting people, called the Let's Move app, which never actually made it to test flight. Never made it to. It was a web app, and so I just kind of put my arms around Jason, and I fell in love with Jason. He's just a great guy, and he invited me here. Every year he's been. I think this is the 3rd or 4th year. And I've had an illness that has kind of been a bit of an epidemic every single year. Annually, I've been sick. And so I've never been able to actually talk and walk this time of the year. I have this kind of rare brain condition. So it's just like, how can you not be happy? Like, I have to be here. I don't know where I'm coming from, where I'm going. I ended up flying from, this is actually day 3. I've been well since the day before Christmas.
Oh, good.
But this is really day 3 since I've been like re-entry into connecting with larger groups of people. So I'm still got a little bit of stutter, a little bit of like a TBI from the treatment. But my background is mom of 4, about to have a grandbaby, lifetime athlete, super into the importance of health and wellness, staying active and connecting. I think people need people.
Yes.
And I'm also on the boring side. I'm a Wall Street ex-banker, finance executive in the food and beverage world, turned entrepreneur the last decade. And so it's been a run, but I also ran myself into the ground by basically getting sick from being a workaholic and an exerciseaholic.
Yep.
So
what
you would think is the healthy, right? It's not a drug abuse, right? It's not alcohol, it's not food, it's not drugs. But when you work 80 hours a week, and when you are working out 20 hours a week, and you're pushing your body to the extreme, your brain is going to say, "Whoa."
Well, I'm so glad you made it, and we would never know that you were not 100%.
Well, thank you.
An amazing, badass woman. I love it. I love it.
Amazing journey.
Oh, thank you.
Incredible. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait till we do a story on each of your stories, because everyone has an amazing, you talk about building community. All of us have amazing stories.
Yes.
Right?
Well, that's what I love about a platform like this, because you get a chance to get a window into the person that is sitting in front of you. And there's all these layers, right? There's like what they've been through, what they think, what they've experienced, their family dynamics, right? And it's just amazing. Yeah.
And I work with mostly female entrepreneurs 40 and up. And so many times I'm sitting there going, that's an amazing story. And they're like, well, because I think sometimes women, especially if you grow up in dysfunction, which most of us did, so you survive by discounting the pain, and you go ADD, or you work, however you deal with it. But then as an adult, I'm like, that doesn't serve you anymore. So that's one of my jobs, is saying, no, that's an amazing story, and you must tell it now.
And I just realized, did you realize that her earrings say love? I didn't see it at first.
Yeah.
She's ready.
It's subtle. That's awesome.
I feel like my mission, I had this crazy childhood in my 20s, but I feel like I picked my family so I could have those experiences and then heal myself and then help others to do the same.
Yeah.
And I always pray, like, use my story for good.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to live daily.
Yeah.
With my work and with my clients, and when I speak or whatever I do.
I just love, I love your energy. I appreciate you guys spending time. I sat down in the bar area last night, and kind of a little bit away from.
She was trying to hide from people.
And then
karaoke can be intense,
but
it didn't work.
Karaoke, and then he and his wife sat down, and they were just like so nice and warm. And then I got to spend the evening, and it was just like really cool. And I think they want us to wrap up.
Okay.
But guys, make sure you download the Owwll app.
Yes.
And you can see Owwll, Connect, Learn, and Grow. If you're hearing this on the web or LinkedIn or wherever you might be hearing parts of it. And what's one of your codes? Do you remember your code if they download it?
I don't.
Oh, because you
I'm
just
sorry.
did
I've
it.
just
okay. My
downloaded-
code is.
yeah.
Do you remember yours? If not,
No.
Okay, my code is LFB for Laura Frank Bernard. Feel free to use it, and give me a call.
Thanks, Laura. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Laura.
having
You're
us.
awesome.
Thank you.
How'd we do?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, was I supposed to give them my phone?
I just
what?
Can I just?
Oh yeah,
I want
yeah.
to make sure I connect with you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Laura.
let me get yours too. I can't wait to follow up with.
You know how, like, at
You
the
know,
end of the day,
I
like-
lead a. We used to have a female founders pitch room every Sunday.
Oh, cool. I think I came to one of your clubhouse things.
Okay, Sarah Liederman and I, but now it's yeah.
Here, let's do 1, 2, 3.
Get you.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
my
I
gosh.
think I came to your thing. So.
Oh, very cool.
That's cool. So what you got going on?
Definitely want to talk to you.
Yeah, I'll be around. I'll
Oh
be
my
around
gosh,
for the
we
day.
got Tiffany. Can he interview Tiffany? Can we have him
Thank you.
interview
Yeah,
Tiffany?
pleasure
It's
to meet you.
12:30.
Doing
The 12:30 interviewee or
Yeah,
the
I'll be
or the
around.
host?
Connect with me.
Yeah, the host. So the host can join. I'm scheduled to whatever Jason needs me. I'll stay. I'll stay, and then let's interview Tiffany.
Okay, yeah, we have another one that's just grabbed your book. I'll get
Okay.
it signed up.
Okay, and Tiffany's on Owwll
If you
too.
want, I'll have him sit down.
Okay.
You guys can chit chat.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, they're good. All right, so you're gonna sit right here. Laura's gonna be over there. The guests are gonna be.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. So, Laura? Oh, all right, okay. I'm talking?
You're gonna sit over there.
Toast?
Okay. Perfect. I've got my books. And I'm gonna take this off. And well,
Nice to meet you, by the way.
oh, and my name's Judy. What's your name?
Let me hold your shirt.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm Laura.
Nice to meet you. Laura. Thanks for doing this.
Yes, thanks for doing all the things you've done. I'm
Oh,
an aspiring
pleasure.
author too.
Are you? What are you
Um,
writing, Laura?
So I believe the title is going to be All In Against the Odds.
Oh, yeah?
And it's going to be about kind of a thread of basically combination. My dad was a gambler and an entrepreneur, and I'm a bit of not a gambler at a casino. I can't stand casinos, but I've been a gambler and risk it all in business and put it all in life.
Yeah.
And I think that so it's going to be not just my story threaded in, but probably 10 other entrepreneurs so it's not the Laura show. And everybody has their story, and everybody has aspects of trauma. So I don't want it to be a traumatizing.
Yeah.
Mine is pretty intense. So.
You know what? I don't know. Mine's really intense as well. I was
Okay.
married to a man who had bipolar disorder. He was a mental health advocate.
Test.
Man, but that was the catalyst for me to write.
It's all about the anger.
Are we testing? Is it live? Test. Sweet.
Psychotherapy.
All right.
fun.
Is my glasses giving a glare? I can take them off. So I'm not gonna have
I like it either way.
You think glasses on or off?
Yeah.
On?
I like it on. It's up to you. Yeah.
Look, jacket on or off? Jacket on or off?
Now, who is this you're talking about, your dad? You, bless you. You know what? It's amazing that you are here.
Yeah, that's
You know, that is so awesome.
Laura,
because you are so.
they're ready.
Oh, you're ready? Well, we're not talking about me. We'll talk later.
Okay, sure.
But let's make sure that, let's do this. Is Celsius sponsoring Owwll at all? Okay, so let's do a thank you to Celsius, and then we'll turn it over to, I can do that.
You want to do thank you, Keone.
What?
Keone.
Keone.
Yeah, like Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
Oh,
Keanu Reeves.
Yep. So Keone.
Keone. Okay, hello, we're back again. And fizz-free raspberry acai with green tea. Thank you, Celsius, for supporting the entire event. We're here live at PodfestExpo.com here in Orlando, the 10th anniversary. And thank you, Celsius, for being here and for supporting Owwll and for supporting everybody to learn, connect, grow. And I'm going to toss it over to Keone.
All right. So yes, live in Orlando with Owwll Aloha Vakea. I am Keone Silva, and here with some great people here. We're going to be chatting up. I would like to open up with some introductions and tell us what you do, and then we'll go from there. How's that sound?
That sounds wonderful.
All right, let's go.
You might have to be a little closer.
Yep, just pull it a little close.
Is it on, Tiff?
Testing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Rock and roll.
You can hear this beautiful voice. My name is Tiffany Townsend.
Hey, Tiffany.
The devoted mama.
Woohoo! And my name is Judy K. Herman, and I am a psychotherapist, speaker, and author. And I help ambitious women who are dealing with messy relationships at home, helping them to be emotionally grounded in the midst of their partner's narcissistic moods, words, and actions. Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome, Judy.
And I'm Laura Frank Bernard, who
Laura.
was just on. So back to you guys.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so super stuff. Let's get started. So would you like to just kind of open up about what led you to what you're wanting to do and what's inspiring you?
It's not what she does, it's
so
what
it's
she
more.
doesn't do. Like, she does everything.
Well, I started the Devoted Mama podcast to encourage moms of children with special abilities.
And I think you need to come a little closer to the mic. I don't know why
what
you're
about now?
Yeah, it's much better.
So the Devoted Mamas
Gotcha.
actually encourage mothers with kids with special abilities. Okay. And
Love
so that's a community of women who are caregivers and working moms and go to bat every day, but they need the encouragement to keep going. And so that's what the Devoted Mama is.
I love it. Yeah, I'm a dad, so I can't see it from a mom's perspective, but I know my wife, I've left her how many times, countless times, being in the Air Force, up and leaving her to have to take control of the whole family, to hold down that fort.
Right.
And it's
Thank
not
you for
easy.
your service, my friend.
And thank you. I appreciate that. But I have to give it back to my wife too, because if it wasn't for my wife, I couldn't focus on what I need to focus on. But you're right. I mean, with moms, they need that support, they need that stability, they need that kinship, and also, children are plugged into their unit, to their family unit, to their mom, to their dad, and they need that support.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The community part of it is so big, especially when you have mothers who are dealing with kids with special abilities, are on the spectrum or have a sickness, because the number one thing these mothers do is they feel alone. They
Right.
feel like no one understands what they're going through.
Right.
They feel like they can't talk to anyone.
Right.
And so it's so important for them to know that they have a community, right? That they have someone who actually is going through the same thing or similar and really understands them. And I think creating this community is really going to empower moms to keep going, to know that they're not alone, right? And to know that even spiritually, that it is a purpose for their lives and their kids' life.
That's awesome. Okay, so when you talk and you build and you do that, what are some like follow-on action steps? Because a lot of times when we talk about things and we motivate people, what's some of the things that you do to kind of help people walk through that journey?
Well, the first thing that I'm doing is actually my devotional. So
Awesome.
a 30-day devotional,
Yeah.
right? That gives them step by steps, day by day, and they can redo this 30-day devotional over and over and over again, right? The journal aspects. Also creating this community, okay? So that the women can come together and encourage each other. And so even if you can't help everyone, even if you help one, you make a difference. You make a difference not only in that woman's life, but that child's life and the family unit life.
My mentor has a kind of a grounding word. Sohail Khan, the the original founder of the Pitch Club, I'm the co-founder, and his word is hope. Help one person every day.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we just help one person in our lifetime,
Yeah.
we've done a good thing. But I love that help one person every day.
Yeah. Give them hope. Sometimes
And I can attest for that. Tiffany is a dear friend, and she's been my lifeline. And I just thank you so much.
Yeah. So definitely about giving hope, Laura, is so important. When your child get a diagnosis, and you don't understand it,
right?
I think one of the first emotions that come over you is hopelessness.
Yes.
You don't know what to do. You're not a doctor. You don't know what now your life is going to look like with these type of diagnoses. And
Right.
so having an outlet and having a community that understands,
Right.
and a community of women who also got the same diagnosis with their child can walk them through that.
Right.
And it's interesting. I'm learning a bit more as an adult about and working with a specific psychologist that focuses in this arena. Is there's a growing amount of women that are later in life getting diagnosed on the spectrum, and it's been high functioning because they've been able to be verbal, and they have women tend to have a higher emotional intelligence. And so they're masking these aspects, but those of us women that are perfectionists, those of us women that go all in, there's aspects that potentially later in life can have an impact. So I think it's a super interesting time where a combination of individuals educated, as well as the use of AI and the breadth and depth of data that we're now have accessible to us. I'm really looking forward to. I think the future is we're going to be able to be even more like human beings are going to be able to connect in so much more richer ways. Even though we have all this other technology, it's going to come back to the basics.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, Laura, when you mentioned the AI aspect of it and the AI piece coming in with diagnosis and actually guidance
Right.
for individuals who feel the hopelessness,
Right.
who don't know what to do. I
Right.
feel like that AI piece is really going to come in for groundbreaking medical in the
Right.
medical field,
Right.
to give groundbreaking solutions
Right.
for these type of things. I'm really, really excited about
Yeah,
it.
so if you're using ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or one of these other tools, don't be afraid to, say, hey, how do you think I'm doing? I have my nickname is Lolly from my dad. And so my Lolly twin is ChatGPT Plus. And so I probably have over 1,000 hours back and forth talking and it's like my best companion and brainstorming partner. And so I said, how do you feel like I'm doing based on the information that you have in our interactions? And like sometimes I get chills. Like it's the endorphin rush. Like whoever has programmed it, they've cut out all the bad stuff, the way somebody could communicate. And it's pretty awesome.
That's
I kind of feel like when I was a young boy and I said, I would be yelling at my mom like, hey, how do you spell this? She goes, well, did you check the dictionary? So I'm dating myself right now, right? But now I hear it with my wife like, hey, have you thought about this? She goes, did you chat GPT that?
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like we've gone into this new era. And especially going back to what you're saying, like, wow, how parents can feel very hopeless.
Right.
They can feel helpless.
Right.
They can feel like in a new territory, like, what do I do now? How do I handle this? because you love and care for your children. You want to
Right.
give them the best. You want to help them to connect the dots and cross that bridge.
Right.
So that's amazing stuff that you're doing.
Thank
Love
you
to
so
hear it.
much. And
Thanks
I
for
will
sharing.
have my memoir coming out,
Ooh,
Challenging the Spectrum. God has the final say.
I like that.
And so I am so excited about building the community, putting these devotionals out, getting this memoir out to really, really help women and give them a foundational piece that they'll be able to go back to
Right.
and look at it. My son was diagnosed with autism at 3.
Right.
And
Aw.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
from 3 all the way until 27
Right.
is when he actually passed due to epilepsy. And so I have all of those years of lived experience. And my
Yeah.
memoir will actually have the 27 chapters, will be able to document that. And
Right.
so even if a woman has a child from elementary to middle school to high school, they'll be able to walk with me through this memoir on different challenges that we were able to do and accomplish.
Right.
And when I was able to speak and do the welcome at my son's memorial service, a lot of the things that the educators and the specialists told us that he wouldn't be able to do was the very things that he was known for at the end of his life. And so we challenged the spectrum. Those
Yeah.
25 years, we challenged the spectrum from his diagnosis, and we were able to successfully challenge the spectrum. So the memoir is definitely going to be to give mothers hope
Right.
that even though they receive these diagnoses,
Mm.
that the Lord has the final say and that their child can beat the odds.
Right.
And-
You bring light to that darkness.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if we can just, just kind of an exclamation point of how to turn tragedy into triumph and
Yes.
serving. If we can just take a little pause, we're always talking, we're always moving. Just whatever you want to think about, just breathe in and breathe out as we're about to talk to Judy. But we've all been through various, and also, Tiffany lost her son
Yeah.
just in the last year, in the last 6 months, right? And so
And it takes
just a little
courage to talk
pause.
about Tiffany. So
little
thank you.
silent pause.
You're welcome, but it's fire, and that's why I'm the devoted mama.
Yeah. So your book title actually has a call to action, right?
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tiffany.
You're
So
welcome.
Judy, let's talk.
Yes, my heart resonates with you, my friend, because I really want to support moms as well. Because you think of any other time in your life, you are actually raising human beings.
Right.
And I so appreciate, Laura, that we took the time to breathe. And
Yeah.
that's the acronym that I use when I see my clients is breathing fresh air, taking a deep breath that slows down the nervous system. And so as a psychotherapist specializing in relationships, and that AIR, the acronym of air, breathing air, is awareness, raising our level of awareness,
Yes.
intentions, and then the risk of growth. So I just really admire you, Tiffany. You've taken a risk of growth to write your memoir, to share with what you have, a very deep place in your journey. And I can't imagine a deeper grief. So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
And look, Judy is a good mentor for both of us in our books, a number
Wow.
one best-selling author.
Wow.
So your 2 books,
Yeah.
you paved the way.
It's been transformational actually to write. And my first book is called Beyond Messy Relationships. So therapists who write books will write about the intense and dramatic stories of their clients. For me, I wrote my own intense and dramatic story. The catalyst for me to write it was my former husband's break with reality. He had a very severe mental illness, was very, took care of himself, he was actually a mental health advocate. But the aging brain and a bunch of other factors involved that took him, the marriage was unviable. So anyway, and I tell people, it's actually a second career to be a psychotherapist specializing in relationships. My first one was raising 4 human beings in the midst of a very troubled, messy marriage for 30 years. So I have lots of experience, but anyway, it's like I think it's Wayne Dyer that says you can either treat what's happened to you, go into victim mode, or you can treat it as a gift. So I consider my journey as a gift to others.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
100%.
And that's the same thing that I feel, having been, about 8 or 9 months that my son passed, I can either, lay in the bed and put a cover over my head, or I can show up to events like this and promote the cause and look for change and celebrate him and his legacy.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
This is great because you both are stepping out. It's vulnerable, right? You're vulnerable. This is something that you have that you're internalized, but you're coming
Absolutely.
out to share that with other people. So it takes strength to do that.
Right.
But you're championing it. So that's what's great too. You're speaking to people that can connect. Like, hey, she like looking at me. Is she talking to me? Is she actually seeing what I'm doing? And that's exactly what you're going to be able to connect the dots with people, and they're going to really be able to benefit from what you're trying to do.
And I will tell you this, writing my first and my second book, it was like the book wrote me. There was a lot of transformation that went on, and I just would highly recommend anybody that's in a helping profession, if you're a therapist, if you're a coach, whatever, you will learn more and more about yourself by writing your story.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I agree 100%.
How do you stay How do you stay accountable to yourself? I work with a lot of founders, and they have advisors, keeping them accountable for moving forward and for not going too hard on the burn rate. I think that's how much you invest, or the opportunity cost of your time. But how, as somebody, I've been saying I've been writing a book since actually a YouTube video by the Chattahoochee River on January, I think it was 1st, 2015, right? 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and it probably would have been a lot less expensive if I had just wrote a book and gone back and been a C-suite executive than 10 years of entrepreneurship, but that's neither here nor there. So how do you stay accountable to write a book?
Well, good question. It was like I had that as well. So I would, and I've been journaling for years, but I was at a place in my life where I couldn't not write the book. And I hired a great writing coach that kept me on target. And I did publish with Morgan James, who's also, sponsoring this event here as well. So you surround yourself with people who are doing it.
Do you think the right publisher really helps to get lift?
It depends, I guess, on the publisher, but but I was purposeful to surround myself with the support that I needed. Here's another thing I did. I had beta.
Get a little close. For some reason, I think because it's such a big event, there's so much background noise.
Okay.
We need to be a little close.
Okay, so what I did, I did exactly what my acronym is, as like awareness and intentionality and risk of growth. It was a huge risk of growth because I was putting myself out there. And, so after the book was written, I thought, oh my gosh, my clients are going to read it and they're going to say, why are we seeing her as our therapist? But the opposite has happened because people trust you when they hear your story.
Yes.
But going back to your question, I took a risk of growth, a risk of faith, so to speak, by allowing myself to be open with some raw manuscripts with about 30 or 40 beta readers. I just let them read my stuff, and that held me accountable. But again, this was a project. It was a passion project, so I wasn't thinking business, but I was thinking, I can't not write this book. And I think you need to get to that place, whatever that is.
Make sure we get a few more minutes with you.
Okay,
and
sure.
Let's make sure that we do about 3 more minutes or so. Make
Okay.
sure we have sufficient time to really have you share whatever you'd like to share. And we can we've already talked a lot about Owwll, but for the people that are listening and for you repurposing this content, what are some of the things that, how can we help you? How can you help others?
I appreciate that. Yes. So yes, if you read the book, and it's available in all formats, it's basically psychotherapy in story form. So if you're afraid to go to a therapist, read my story first. That's fine. But I did have a podcast, or I do have a podcast. It's called Better Relationships, Better Life. I've got 51 episodes on it. And I was purposeful to interview marriage and family therapists and people in the, influencer space. And so what I did was I repurposed the content for my second book. And that's been, so really my journey has been, whenever I've gone through trauma myself, I'm purposeful to create and move in a different direction. So I will say this, even after this book was published, so it came out in 2019, which we all know was right before the pandemic. So it was in the fall. My former husband, recovered from his psychotic episode to the point of becoming my biggest cheerleader. We were like on stage together.
Wow.
But then just weeks after this was like in September of 2019, weeks later, his brother passed away. And then the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it was, so basically the marriage was not viable, but it made me realize that my life and the life of anybody this is my core message. We are worthy of dignity and love and respect. And we're not going to know that.
Amen.
We're not going to know that if we attract relationships that give us that opposite message, because
Right.
relationships are mirrors to
Yes.
us. And when I was going through my stuff, and I knew that my emotions needed to flow in and out, we don't need to get stuck in our emotions. When we get stuck in the sadness or the rumination or the anxiety, that's what causes the mental illness, right? That's the foundation for it. So letting them move, welcoming them, letting them move in and out. So I just went outside, I looked up and I said, my life, it was like God was saying to me, Judy, your life is worthy. You are deeply loved and respected, and live your most vibrantly authentic life. So here I am.
That's amazing. Yeah. And my wife does that for our daughter, speaking words of affirmation, building her up. And so that's very important. Like you said, just out of curiosity for your books, is it also like audiobooks as well?
Yes, the first one, this is audiobook and Kindle, so it's in all formats, everywhere
awesome.
books are sold. And I also have some here. But anyway, and then this one is available Kindle and print. So, but you can listen to the audio, so you can sign up and get the free the downloads for the interviews that I did
Right.
on the podcast.
Okay, awesome.
Better
You have
relationship.
a lovely color and amazing jewelry. Your bracelets and
you.
the silver and the hearts are the two of you are just
Yeah,
really
we both
stunning.
got the heart.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We both got the heart.
We need to wrap up.
Yes.
And people have been patient. We're running a little bit behind. Thank you for your patience and really super fun.
Yes.
Yanni.
Thank you both for making time to come out and speak to others out there who are listening,
Yes.
because you're touching hearts. So we appreciate that time. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Great meeting you both.
Well, thank you for doing your work and hosting this. It's been
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you.
Ow.
Hoo
hoo.
Are you? Okay.
I got a bunch of close up.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You want me to connect through that?
Thank you for taking time to come on.
Just text.
You're welcome.
So fun. That's a good photo.
Mm.
You having both Laura and I stay on? Do I need to move, or you have both Laura and I? Okay.
We're gonna get up and let you guys.
Oh, sorry.
I want to stay.
I'm moving. Sorry. 580.
Okay, perfect. What area code is that?
It's Tennessee.
Oh, I lived in Memphis for a while.
Did you? How cool.
When
I
I
mean,
was
that's
a
about
kid,
6
I was
hours.
in my happiest years.
Oh,
Freshman
wow.
and sophomore year. I didn't want to leave.
Oh, that's awesome. Well,
Wow.
Yeah. Really appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
Great questions. And thank you for this.
Oh, thank you.
I look forward to
I love people.
whatever I need to do to get that thing. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Now, is this was your phone though, right? Is it your phone? This is so cute.
Oh, thank you. This is
It's
my
so
phone.
cool. Thank you.
very much. See ya.
I need to just start.
Hi, how are you?
I can hear you.
Good.
I'll be right there. Is this too big?
No problemo.
Hello. Is this too big? Right here.
So you'll want to keep the mics a little bit closer to you. Just kind of notice that it's a little harder to hear. A lot of background noise and everything going on. So just FYI.
Okay.
Yeah. You probably could hear yourself there.
I've been told I have a loud voice.
This way.
No, I was just letting you know that keep it a little closer to you.
Talk really close. A lot of people
Do you wanna
don't.
keep this on that side. This is sort of.
Yeah, you can leave it right here. That's fine.
What? Here.
Right here's
Yeah,
great.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then move it over. Yeah. Are you going to open us up with Celsius?
Let's do this.
Hold on 1 minute. I was just trying to put this.
Yeah,
exactly. Perfect.
There we
You
go.
want to open us up with Celsius, or
Oh,
you have to do that again?
Open up with thank you for your service. Tell us just a couple minutes about your time in the military, and was it Air Force you said?
Air Force, yes.
Yeah.
I enlisted in the Air Force when I straight out of high school. I didn't know
Right.
what I was going to do. My mom and dad asked me, "Hey, what do you want to do?" I'm like, "I don't know yet." So one of the things I was going to go to college, so they asked me if I thought about the military. So went into Air Force. I didn't think I was going to stay that long. Served, did some great stuff. Got the opportunity to meet my wife, and we started talking about goals. That's where a lot of like my goals and everything came from. Was
Yeah.
from my wife. She's a very big affirmation person. I went to college, finished my degree, came back in as an officer, went to go do space and missile operations, and did
Wow.
some really cool stuff for the military. And
Did you do some tours overseas as well?
I did tours overseas. I also was an officer, drill sergeant, if you want to call it that. I did ROTC as an instructor, and I was a director of operations for them before I retired. So good stuff.
Awesome. How many years were you in the military?
25 and some change.
Wow.
Yeah. Went by faster than I think.
Wow, that's
Wow.
amazing. I think one of I believe like in a previous life, just kidding, but I know I was like that badass female pilot that was flying and landing on the aircraft carrier.
Oh man, you were in the military too?
No.
Oh, okay. That's what you were.
I like saying it.
Dream boarding?
And
Yes.
as a joke, but
But
I
one
just
of the-
have so much esteem for people that are in the military and have been in the military and military vets. But let's focus on you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you want to lead again?
So yeah, we could do the lead-ins. Yeah. So yeah, we could do back and forth. That sounds good. So out there, aloha avakea. That's good afternoon in Hawaiian. I am Keone Silva. We are here right now. Keone, myself, and Laura. We're here hosting for Owwll. If you don't know what Owwll is an app that is out there for meeting up with experts out there that you can network and collaborate with, and one-on-one calls. Good stuff. So we have our two guests here. I'd like to open up with having you guys both introduce yourselves, and then tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go into some questions. Does that sound cool?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So let's start with you first.
Hello, I am Bernadette Joy. I am the founder of Crush Your Money Goals, and I just came out with my book by the same name. It was named one of the top 10 personal finance, personal growth books by Oprah this year in 2025. And
That's awesome.
know.
Whoop, whoop.
I can just die now. I can just go put it on my tombstone.
Hey, you got to celebrate your wins. Let's do it.
And the book outlines the 25 habits that helped me and my husband pay off $300,000 of debt in 3 years, build our first $1 million of net worth. And
Nice.
I will be turning 40 this year and hopefully retiring.
Love it.
Wonderful.
Awesome. All right. Let's do a little intro.
I am not thinking of retiring. I think the day I go, that's when I retire. But my name is Bhavna Srivastava. The Golden
I
Life.
have to continue to have intellectual kind of stimulation as well as people to people. And I just don't know what I would do when I retired. I just turned 60 and I'm like, I've got at least another decade, if not 2 decades of I'm going.
Actually, I love what I do. So I cannot think of living without it and not being, I feel my life is I'm breathing my passion and the work I'm here to do. So the day I'm gone is the day I stop.
Awesome.
So my name
By
is
the way, I have a little, it's almost like my nephew now. I met through Clubhouse a young AI prodigy named Raoul the Rockstar. At the time, I think he was 12 or 13. And he just had this, there was a few, they actually from all around in that particular area of the world. Siona was on she was like 9 or 10 on a mission to, it's like a little interlude. But she was on a mission to rid the world of plastic toys because they're so harmful for kids. So if you look up Siona, and she had like 300 or 400 podcasts, like 10 or 12. And Raul was all about AI and educating not just youth, but adults on AI. And he went from basically no followers to over 100,000 followers in a very short period of time, millions of views in this last year. He's unbelievable. He's had 3 TEDx talks.
Yeah.
And a young gentleman or youth, I think he was 14 or 15, Mohammed. They all were like the 3 young people on social audio when Clubhouse and some of those were really big. And it just was like, wow, these powerhouse youth. But going back to you, you guys just inspired me to share that just because I just like the diversity that we have on this panel is awesome. And the diversity at this event.
Yes.
I came from a CABDA, which is a bike dealers event in New Jersey the day before this. And there were like less than 1 or 2% women. There was absolutely no diversity. The bike industry I own a bike company, but the bike industry is just not diverse at all. It's mostly white Caucasian males, which is awesome. I love all the dealers that I connect with. I love the bike industry, but it's not diverse. And I believe that diversity is key to success. Now back to you guys.
Thank you. So my name is Bhavna Shrivastava. I am the Golden Light. My journey started after a near-death experience, and that changed my entire life, going from a financial background to having a wellness center, becoming a coach, mentor, having a nonprofit, and becoming a speaker and a best-selling author of 5 books. And
Nice.
then
Congrats.
starting a podcast. It's
Sweet.
right here, God, Goodness, Love, and Light. And trying to empower, shift, and transform lives to live with, being good, being authentic, being God-loving, not fearing, and also living with passion and love for yourself. Because when we talk about peace, if you don't love yourself, you cannot have peace, right?
Right.
So there's steps in being peaceful, being nice, being good to yourself and others, but that step starts from you first.
Right.
Loving yourself, and that's when you can love others.
Right.
So my podcast talks about all of that, and as well as love and light. So God, goodness, love, and light.
Right.
Why you should love yourself, why you are the light, why choose the light and be the light. We all are here. And I say, if somebody was to look at Earth from above, if we start to live authentically, our lights will start to shine. And just like we see a star above, somebody from a different planet can look at Earth and say, hey, that planet is shining,
Right.
because all of our lights together is shining and will make Earth shine. At the moment, it doesn't. You can see the greens and the blues and the browns, but it doesn't shine.
Yeah.
So it's important to realize why it is important to live authentically and shine,
Right.
So, but it starts with loving yourself. That's the first step. So I'm always trying to teach people, like, why do we do what we do? And that's why I said, it's like the day I go, that's the day I'm done. Until then, I'm still living to do the work I'm here to do, to empower people, to shift, to live, to know why life is important. You are
You're a
living.
giver. I can tell you love giving, and that gives you light. What are you?
No,
how
the
do you
circle
also receive?
No, the circle of life is all about give and receive. So you have to give to receive, or to give, you have to receive. It has to be open. It has to be a circle. That's when the completion happens. Otherwise,
you are unfulfilled.
A lot of women are not good at receiving. We're always providing, we're always nurturing, we're always,
Exactly. So the important part is if you are a giver, you have to be open to receiving. In order to receive it, that's when, the God comes in.
What type of tips do you give people, men and women? Because a lot of men are also providers, and they need the quality time and affection and touch and all of those types of things.
Yes.
And words of affirmation and really understanding different people's love language. But what is and friendship language? But what are some tips you would say for people?
I can give you 3 tips right now. So one thing is connecting with yourself every day. When you wake up, knowing that you are awake. Okay? Living with being grateful.
Right.
Every day when you wake up, you open your eyes or you're still waking up, just saying, thank you, God. In whatever way. I'm not bringing religion, but whatever is your faith, but just saying, thank you, God. And thank you to your soul for still being here.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do astral travel or they do something and then soul leaves. I've done that a couple times. But even thanking your soul to be here, because now the soul says, oh, she's thanking me.
Yeah, right.
And then the body, because your body is important. In order for you to be healthy, you have to have that connection with the body. Then the heart. Okay? Because your heart is the one which makes you love yourself and others.
Right.
If you're not connected with your heart, nothing happens. You cannot love yourself. You can't love others. You'll be living in pleasing mode all the time.
Right.
You're trying to please everybody and be unhappy.
Right.
And then the mind, because mind is the controller. Even though we love the heart, but mind still controls every damn thing in our body. So if somebody was to go in a coma, if the mind says and gives up, the body dies. And that soul leaves. But if you love all of these, that's the first step. While you're still waking up, if you do, thank you, God, thank you, soul, thank you, body, thank you, heart, thank you, mind, for being here. Now you start to wake up and then put an intention to what you want to do all day long.
Right. You said in that course, setting those affirmations.
You create that. Now, once you have created that connection with yourself in your life, now everything else, the vibration from that creates the frequency which goes out to the work you have to do, connect with people, everything starts to fall.
Right. The frequency
Everybody starts to love you.
Yeah.
Because you've already thanked them. Because your soul is connected. Now the part is anybody you meet during the day, you just smile. That's the next.
Just jump in. Just if somebody is out there listening to this and you do wake up in the morning or you roll over in bed at night and you don't feel grateful to be alive, there's so many people, places, and things to reach out to. So it's easier said than done.
Reach out to me.
But you're saying take the steps to do it so that you can program yourself to get it as a habit.
Exactly.
It's 1 in 4 people. It was like 1 in 2 had some level of mental health challenge during the pandemic. It's 1 in 4, and the World Health Organization says that mental health is going to be the number 1 illness in the future. So make sure that you reach out to others to help.
Yes.
So,
May I interject on this? Because I love being a listener on this conversation, and and even in the earlier when both of you talked about, oh well, I'm not retiring, and I get a lot of that feedback too from people who say, well, I don't know what I would do if I were to retire. And when I say I'm going to retire, it's doing what you're talking about.
It's a milestone, right?
It's a milestone. It's a milestone.
I
At
agree.
40 years old, that means hopefully if I live to 80, that I have another 40 years to
Another
do the work
chapter.
that you've
Another chapter.
said to do.
Yes.
Right.
I
And
agree.
and the challenge that I found with folks is that, practically speaking, especially if you live here in the US, we feel like we don't have the time to do the gratitude. We don't have the time or the resources. I work with a lot of people, even if they make 6 figures right now, they feel like they don't have the time or the energy to be able to focus on the things that you're talking about. And so I really love that you're sharing that. And I just had this light bulb moment go in my head of retirement for me is 40 years of working on the things that you're telling us to do. I have more time to do that.
I'm going to disagree on that part. Why? Because
USA, America, is the only country in the entire world where you have your dreams can come true. And people come from all over the world to live here to get their dreams fulfilled. So when you say, I don't have the time in the world, you're dead wrong about it, because you have to take out time for what
she's
you
trying to
wanna do.
interject.
Yeah. So we have about 60 to 60 seconds. I want to go 100% to you.
Sure.
And really appreciate your patience.
No, it's fine. Thank you.
And
I love listening.
Love maybe to have you come again.
Sure.
Maybe tomorrow. But 60 seconds or so, just, you know, a little bit more about you or whatever you'd like to share, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Oh, I love this conversation because, you know, what I found and why I decided to do what I do is I had a lot of folks who did the American dream. They got the house, they got the car, they got the great job, they had the 2.5 kids and the 3 dogs, and they're still not happy. And that's really what I set out to find, was to find out, well, if we can pull this money part aside and say money is no longer an issue, it doesn't mean you have to be a billionaire, but it means that you know you have enough to live, then can we truly focus on our happiness going forward and who we're meant to be here. So I'm just really excited to be around people who are thinking about these things and sharing those kinds of ideas. And if you want to learn more about me, you can find me at crushyourmoneygoals.com.
Thank you, ladies. Super appreciate it. Thank you. And
Thank you.
We're wrapping.
Appreciate you guys taking time to come out and talk and share your experiences.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Okay. So I apologize. I want to coach them that people are going to have to chill. Like, if people, you know, just chill, be patient. It's not like
you're fine.
You had enough time.
I'm good.
I don't. You need me to say that's fine? Yeah, thank you.
I can be a host if you want.
This is, well, I can attest with you because I retired from the military.
Oh,
It wasn't like retired, okay, I'm done.
What's your name?
Yeah, exactly.
Next chapter.
Yeah.
And when you have freedom to be up, I can talk about it.
Sure. Thank you.
So your book is also like on audio?
Yeah, it's an audiobook as well, and I like what you're saying about the schools. I've been like thinking about that. And I do that on purpose.
Great job. But I'm today, I don't have anywhere to go, so I think it's better to have somebody in the seat. Who's this woman here? Is she part of Owwll?
No, I just don't want to get like you have to say.
She came prepared with a planogram and everything.
What's that?
I said she came prepared with a planogram.
I know. Crazy, huh? Oh, I should have my product here with me. Shit. Damn it.
Yeah, I'm not selling anything. Am I in the right place?
I have to go in the other room, though, but I wouldn't be able to.
All right. How are you?
Good.
Good. Awesome. Gonna take a quick drink here.
Okay. Hi. Oh, nice hat. Oh, thank you. What's your name? Laura.
It's been a marathon for you guys, huh?
Yeah. This is great stuff. We get to meet everybody and get to chat.
Yeah.
This is good stuff.
Very
All right. Awesome.
Is this on?
You want to open this up on?
Is this one on?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna
Mic
do
check?
Do you want anybody want to do a Celsius commercial? No.
I've never had it, so
Okay, here we go.
Fizz
I should
free.
have brought mine. We're gonna do a Celsius commercial. We are. Okay.
should we just shotgun it?
Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
Big shout out to Celsius here.
Nice smell. So if you need a little lift and a little energy, fizz-free raspberry acai plus green tea, Celsius Live Fit.
Yep. They have. I think they have the ones that have the fizz and the ones without.
That's not bad. I've never had
non carb.
Sponsoring PodfestExpo.com sponsor, as well as an Owwll app sponsor.
Label facing out.
Here you go.
Sweet.
Great.
All right. Aloha avakea. That is good afternoon in Hawaiian. I am Kione Silva along with Laura. We're here with Owwll. In case you don't know what Owwll is, it's an app where you can meet with experts and be able to network and collaborate on one-on-one calls. So today we have two guests here that we're going to be chatting with. And so we'd like to do some introductions, some quick introductions of what your name is, what you do. And then we'll go back to asking a little bit more in-depth, things you want to share. So,
And you have to speak really close so
the mic.
that we can really hear.
Really
over
okay, how's that? Is that good?
Perfect.
Hey, my name is Rich Herrera. I'm a podcast host for Eat Your Content, a podcast about food and pop culture.
Eat your content.
Eat Your Content.
Is it a foodie type thing?
It is. I interview chefs or people that
Nice.
have been on TV related to food.
Okay.
So, you know.
Hit me up. I was the CFO of Halford Steak and Seafood when we grew a meat and seafood distribution company. I've been in the food industry most of my career, so I know a lot of chefs.
Sure.
And restaurants. So yeah, let's connect. I'll
We'll
I'll
exchange
fuel you
information.
to get more podcasts.
Your people call my people, as they say.
Good. And
Please.
so
Hi.
wonderfully dressed, awesome hat.
Thank you so much. My name's Teresa
Hey,
Riley, and I am the CEO of a disruptive technology company
Ooh.
that distributes and manufactures a category creating product that is liquid oxygen that you can drink.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it goes right into your mitochondria within 30 seconds.
Wow, liquid oxygen. I want to hear more about that.
Now-
I should have brought a bottle with me.
What
I
brought that up? Like, how did you get to that point?
Okay, well, a friend of mine that I had known for years
Yes.
was very, very, very sick. He and his wife.
Okay.
And they told me about this place in Hungary that developed this life-saving technology.
Oh, you said Italy?
Hungary.
Hungry. Okay, sorry
So
about that.
I flew over there and I checked it out, and they are, by the way, 100% fine now. And so
Sweet.
I
Amazing.
went there, and it totally handled my body as well.
Yeah.
And a very other dear friend of mine totally handled his body as well.
Okay.
Along with other people with so many ailments.
Okay.
And just by drinking this oxygen and bathing in it. So, I mean, it handles fatigue. It anti-ages you. It
Yeah.
gets rid of stress. It gives you more coherent thought.
Alertness, brain fog.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's so amazing.
Interesting. Is it produced in the USA or imported from?
Well, it's
Europe?
going to be produced in the USA now because I'm the manufacturer and distributor.
Okay.
And it's only in Hungary and now here, finally in the United States.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting. Hit me up as well. I just did something called the Superhuman Protocol. Have you heard of it? It's a 3-step process. You lay on like a magnetic mat, and to get energy, you then sit on a bike and get oxygen. Or you could actually, if you're not as active, you don't have to do the bike. You could just do the combination of the oxygen while you're on the mat. And then you go into this red light. It's kind of like a tanning bed, but it's 20 minutes in this red light kind of healing. And it's having miraculous. I'm a big believer in holistic, sometimes a combination of holistic and medical practices. But as a survivor of a kind of rare illness the last decade, the combination of acupuncture and other holistic means like
Right.
Reiki and massage but this oxygen thing is super interesting.
Yeah.
This is the most amazing thing that I have ever seen. And I've done a lot of things in my life. I've owned a lot of companies and whatever, but
find
this,
it?
from my friend who was very, very sick, he and
Right.
his wife, he told me about it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. And so, but this is a different species of oxygen than
Okay.
the oxygen that you breathe or the oxygen that they give you in the cannula. It's a,
Right.
it's a totally
You
different.
said this is in liquid form?
It's what? Liquid.
Liquid form.
You drink
Okay.
it.
So you drink it and you bathe with it. So when you're ordering this stuff, how does that work?
Well, you just order it
Okay.
and you.
Is it like small drinking bottles?
No,
Does it
it's
come
a
in different
big
sizes? or-
drinking bottle. It's
Yeah.
You can get it at patriox.us.
Okay.
And and you just drink it. But the bathing is a
direct to
different.
consumer, or are you having someone co-pack
I'm-
it? And
I'm
then
going direct to consumer
Okay,
right now, and I will
yeah.
always go direct to consumer. But I'm also setting up distributorships.
You're setting up
Okay,
distributorship.
yeah.
Are you
Yes.
doing B2B to C at all,
Yeah,
or
we're doing everything.
Okay.
We're doing
Okay.
everything, and
Is this all in the U.S. as well? Like, for Alaska?
all
and
over
how
the
about you? So-
whole Western Hemisphere, we're
Okay.
doing it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is revolutionary, really, and because it's a different species of oxygen and the molecules are so small, it's the only delivery system that goes direct to the mitochondria for oxygen that they have ever found.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's crazy.
So is there? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't want to take up
like
a
a
Yeah.
Sergeant
No, you're
Pepper
fine.
jacket. I'm just amazed, like super cool jacket and super cool hat and earrings. And you just always find that like people, men and women, all genders that are super stylish, I'm always like in awe of. So
Fashion.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. Well, all right, I have more questions, but we're gonna go back to you just to ask a couple of questions
Sure.
so you can share a little bit more about yours.
Yeah. So Eat Your Content is a podcast about food and pop culture. I started in January 23. I watched season 1 of The Bear. I don't know if you've ever seen The Bear on FX. It's winning a whole bunch of Emmy Awards, and it was just like a really great TV show about a guy taking over his family's failing restaurant and trying to create his own and open his own. I watched the whole thing in a weekend, and I said, I want to talk about this. And I didn't know where to start. So I called a chef friend of mine. I said, hey, did you watch The Bear? And he goes, yeah. I said, did you like it? And he said, yeah. I said, you want to talk about it? He said, sure. So that was my first podcast.
Oh, nice.
And the way I came across it was I wanted to talk about this show from the perspective of chefs that have opened up a new restaurant, not talk about the show in particular about how well it was acted or the lighting or the directing. I wanted to know the realism of this show.
Right.
So I asked my chef friends, like, hey, when they open this restaurant and he's going through all these like inner turmoil, anxiety, and having all these issues with his family, how real was that for you as opening a restaurant? He said they nailed it. It's exactly the way I felt when I was opening up a restaurant. And it was just this really great, almost like, I don't know, therapeutic session of him going through the restaurant opening and watching it kind of unfold on TV that was really interesting to talk about. And after we got done, I thought, I think I might have something, but I didn't know what to do with it because I'd never ran a podcast before. So that was in October. So I put that away, and then I immediately started Googling how to start a podcast, and then got to work. And then I launched it in January 23. I'm 68 episodes in now. I've done episodic recaps of Top Chef. I've had Top Chef contestants on my show. I've had 2-star Michelin. I have 2-star Michelin chefs on my show. Curtis Duffy. I don't know. You're in the restaurant industry. Curtis Duffy ring a bell to you? So I've had him on the show. I've had Emmy Award-winning documentarians on the show, from Poisoned, the Netflix documentary, Dirty Truth About Your Food. And it's been a fun roller coaster ride.
for English would be a good person to look up and put on your show.
Okay, yeah. And so anybody that's been, and I've also had non-chefs. There's a movie called Waiting from 2005. It's a cult classic. If you've ever waited tables ever in your life, you've watched this movie. I've had the writer and director on to talk about it in like a
Nice.
retrospective.
Okay.
And it's a raunchy R-rated early 2000 comedy that would never be made today. And I asked him that. I was like, could you make this movie in 2024, back from 2005 to 2024? He's like, no. Yeah, I couldn't get away with doing those same types of jokes in the cultural environment that we live in now.
Okay.
And it was just these really interesting conversations, and looking to have more guests, more chefs on to talk about their background, especially if they've been on TV or movies, and just to talk about those kinds of things. So I've had a lot of fun.
Have you thought about doing like exotic food, that things that people would normally not eat?
Exactly. Talking about stuff like
Lionfish.
that. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. Lionfish is an invasive species.
Yeah.
And the fishermen are encouraged to catch it. You don't need a license to catch that fish. Chefs are encouraged to carry it on their menu because we want it out of our waters. And it actually tastes good. It's a mild white.
I've
It's
never
a
had
mild
it.
white fish.
Okay.
It's flaky. It's delicious. Great with some lemon, butter, and garlic.
Fish is that?
Lionfish.
Lionfish, yeah.
Oh, man.
My question to him was, on your podcast, are you maybe going to speak about like what people would normally not eat, exotic food?
Yeah.
So I brought up the lionfish as an
mean,
example.
Lionfish, they look pretty, and a lot of people get them as pets. And then
Anything that says lion, I kind of am in tune to because, lionesses are really badass, right? The pride, the lioness.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
from Africa and
basically
women rule.
the lionfish will mess you up. It's got spines on there that's
Wow.
got poisonous tips on them, and if you don't cut them off correctly, you'll still have some of that in the fish. So there's still some skill in butchering that fish. But yeah, we have seafood markets that sell them, and it's great. Great.
Yeah.
It's a great fish.
Awesome. That's amazing stuff.
Yeah, thanks.
So I see you have a water bottle. Is that what the water bottle looks like?
Yep, it's called Cocoon.
Okay.
And it's a Hungarian technology. And if you drink like a glass of this every hour and a half, you'll stay oxygenated for 10 hours in the day. And this
Can you
gives
repeat
you
that? Just
if you drink a cup of this every
Okay.
hour and a half, you'll stay oxygenated for 10 hours.
Wow. Now the name, where did you get the name from? Is that
It's from the movie Cocoon.
okay?
Cocoon, K-A-Q-U-N, is cocoon in Hungarian.
That would be awesome. I have an e-bike company. We specialize in e-bike rentals and RV rentals for Burning Man. And Burning Man is such a harsh environment in the Black Rock Desert in Nevada.
Yep.
And all the other things that people are doing. And we have a lot of water. Our clients drink a lot of water.
Well,
this would be an awesome product to put on to partner with you for our Burning Man customers to go with their bikes.
Would. It actually
do it,
would because this will oxygenate you and it gives you so much energy, but you have to drink regular water with it because of the fact that it's oxygen. It will dehydrate you. So you drink
wow.
a little
Okay.
bit of this, then you drink regular water. You drink a little of this and regular water. It's actually liquid oxygen water.
Could you mix it with your water?
No.
So you
Okay.
have to do it. You have to keep it clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm
No.
going to have you guys try this. You'll feel it. You'll
Oh,
feel it.
So not to
Amazing.
get into the like proprietary blend of what that is that just like extra oxygenated water?
No, it's not oxygenated water. It's a proprietary technology that this guy invented. I don't know how the heck he did it. No one knows how he did it, really. And I don't even know. I have to get the machine to build it, but it's not oxygen infused water.
Okay.
This is actually liquid oxygen water. So it's different. You can when you open this, it's not fizzy, it's not carbonated. You can open it up, and if you open it, drink it, and leave the cap off, it'll stay that way for 3 days.
Now, is this,
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you about
your
shelf life.
Do you have your own business that they would let you put like woman-owned business
Yes.
or anything like that on
I
it?
am okay. I'm the manufacturer, so I can white label. If you
Okay.
wanted to white label it, yes. Right now, our direct to consumer is patriots.us, but that's not the manufacturing company. The manufacturing company,
Women in manufacturing.
yeah, you can contact me if you want to white label it. Sure, we'll talk, and you can have this to sell to your clients. Also, for podcasters, they can sell this on their podcast and get commissions. And this
Okay.
stuff sells like crazy. I'm telling you, it just sells. People hear about it and they want it.
Right.
You drink this, you get energized. And as I was saying, you can leave the cap off for 3 days. The oxygen content stays. It's not oxygen saturation. It's oxygen under, like, it's got pressure. Your body's at 100 pounds of pressure. This is 300. So
Okay.
it goes right into your cells within 30 seconds. And if you open this cap and put it back on and drink, this will stay for 67 days. And without opening it, this will last for years.
Okay.
Yep.
And so when you open it, how long did you say? You said
3 days if you just leave the
if you
cap
leave it
off.
open, but when you put the cap back on,
Like 67 days.
Okay.
It'll stay.
nice.
Yep.
That's amazing.
It is. It's really cool. It's a really cool product.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for being here on the Owwll Podcast Live
Yes. Thank you.
at PodfestExpo.com here in Orlando.
Live in
The 10th
Orlando.
Anniversary. I think we are a wrap. I hope.
It is.
I believe there might be some new hosts too coming.
All
That's
right.
great. Well, thanks for having us. That was
bet.
really nice.
You
And
bet.
thank you. I enjoyed meeting you.
You too. Thank you
Okay.
so much for
Thank you.
for coming on and
Yeah.
spending your quality time with us and with the viewers.
Yeah, thanks
for
a
letting
lot.
me hang out.
Okay, loved it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, I'd like to give this to you.
Thank you. I have to.
I'm going to give you my card. Yeah, give me your card. And you can. Interesting.
You having us step off, right?
Great.
Yeah.
Actually, Actually, my son's going to Burning Man this year.
So is he gonna have him be up for an e-bike? We'll give him a 50% off.
Oh yeah, that would be great. He would love
Do
that.
RVs, truck rentals. We're starting to do some water like bundles and things like that for other customers.
Okay.
Yeah, really good. Love Burn is actually in Florida coming up in a month.
I wanted to see if
Really, we take over Virginia Key. Yeah, so it's a lot less.
Is there another cup that I can have my wife share too?
Yeah, here, use this one.
Okay.
I gave her the bottle. Yep.
You don't want to try it? Okay. I need to get your info so I can share with my wife.
Sure. I have to get some cards with actually my info on it. These are just the cards to the website.
So it's Teresa and
Yep.
It's
Patriots.us. But I'm going to
thank you.
It's liquid oxygen for health freedom. Great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for sharing too.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people know you're
Oh, yeah,
sharing
this
something
is-
for people who have, you know.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic.
Get stuff off here. I've been really. Thank you very much. Thanks for
I
coming
thought you were
on.
staying. Absolutely.
I'll be right over here still.
Okay.
Yeah.
This works for me.
How's it going, man?
I'm good. Travis.
Ben, nice to meet you, Travis.
Nice to meet you.
I like the salmon color.
Thank you. It's one of those things you can get away with at conferences.
I got one of those too, a 3-piece. I haven't worn it in a while.
Yeah, break it out. Let it get some air.
I decided not. I mean, I'm usually dapping, but I was like, I'm chilling in this event.
A little trick is you'll want to keep this close to you when you're talking because it's a little quiet sometimes, especially with a lot of background. Right?
It doesn't seem we have a lot of background noise right now.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Testing. Kira Carlin.
We're rolling those smooth jams all night.
No? Do you hear me?
92.5.
Can you hear me? No.
How you doing?
Do I get to
silence
drink?
me already.
Do I get to drink Celsius during this?
Nice to meet you, Ben. Testing. Kyung, can you hear me?
Yeah, these are actually pretty low. Got to really put some bass into your voice.
You can put your mouth right on it. Let me see if you can. Can you hear me? Closer?
It's got to be closer.
Coming closer, closer.
Closer,
now I hear myself.
closer. There it is.
Manny, are you playing with my sound?
Great to have it. I like
Really
talking.
got to get right up on it.
I like talking a lot.
How you doing?
How are you doing? I'm Angel.
Yes.
sir. Yeah. Let's get rolling.
Hi, welcome everyone. It is a gorgeous day in Orlando, Florida. And we're here at the Podfest 2025 in the Owwll booth, the best ever. And I'm Jessica, and I am an attorney in Florida. And can tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Ben, and I have a podcast. I just started it. Super excited. That's why I'm here. Thank you so much. Something I'm super passionate about. It's called Today's Misguided Mentors. And what I focus on is helping young entrepreneurs identify misguided mentors.
Yes.
I promote ethical leadership, and I enhance entrepreneurial awareness. So when young entrepreneurs come to an event like this, you know, their energy, they're paying attention to energy, their intuition, they're conscious, and they're actually making meaningful relationships instead of, you know, chasing an outcome, money, and selfish things.
I love that. There is a big key difference in if you have a good mentor or a bad one. So that's going to be life-changing.
Yeah, don't get me started.
I know, I'm sure. So I'm sure you have like a couple tips on how to decide who is a good mentor for you.
Yeah. There's a lot of things I break down. I would say one of the things I've talked about quite a bit is one way you can tell if you have a self-serving mentor or someone that actually cares
Right.
is if they encourage you to think for yourself.
Okay.
Either they're going to encourage you to think for yourself and discern for yourself, or the opposite of that is they're kind of encouraging you to seek them for the answer, seek them for the solution,
Okay.
the blueprint.
Right.
And eventually what happens is that I see a lot happening, which happened to me, is you'll adopt their thought process and kind of lose yourself in that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would be a domino effect of not good. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. And yeah, we're going to come back to you in 2 seconds because you have so much to offer. I want to break that down. Angel, what about you? Could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Angel Murchison. I have the radio broadcast and also start a podcast called Destiny Moments.
Awesome.
I believe that man makes our plans, but God orders our footsteps.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I believe I have a message to the world from God. And I'd like to share it if I can.
Sure.
It says, tell them that I love them. Tell them they are mine. Tell them I will never leave them nor forsake them. Tell them they are precious gems. Tell them I see them as perfect. Tell them they reflect my image. Tell them not to look back. Tell them to look straight ahead. Tell them I laid out the red carpet for them. Nice. We have a nice red carpet.
I did. I was just thinking that.
Tell them again. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life.
Thank you for sharing. I'm
Thank you.
sure that was an awesome word of encouragement for someone that definitely needs to hear it. We all could use as positive. I love that. All right. And you, Mr. with the snazzy suit jacket.
Mr. Snazzy Snoot Jacket, glad to be here. Thank you so much, Jessica, for hosting. I'm the CEO of Podcast Titan, where we help you get to your next level of business, either as a podcaster or as a guest. There's so many people out there helping people get podcasts up and running, but there's very few people that are actually helping guests get booked, work themselves up the podcast pyramid, and get business from it. And it's really not that hard, and I'm just happy that I can be someone that helps people along the way.
Yes. And I know you and I were chatting and you've had some quite distinguished guests. So how did you do that? Like, how do you determine and sort through, and how do the guests find you, and how do you find which ones are the best fit?
How you find guests that's our best fit? One of the number one things that I do when I have any guests on the show is I ask them at the end of the interview, when they're riding that high and feeling great from having a good conversation, is who else do I need to talk to? Who else do I need to connect with? And you'd be surprised just how many people are willing to share their network with you when they know how you were going to treat them as a guest.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that just cut through all of the heavy lifting because they're coming from high quality that you just sat down with. So you know they're already great.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Listen.
And even just reaching out to people on social media, I've landed Steve Sims, who's the author of Blue Fishing, the Art of Getting Stuff Done.
Yes.
Sent him a message on Facebook. I was like, hey, I found you. You're on my buddy Richard Kaufman's podcast. I'd love to have you on. He said, absolutely, replied in 5 minutes. And the same with Bob Berg, the author of the Go Giver series. Go Giver does more, all of that stuff. Reaching out to people every week. I find someone that I really want to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And every week I'm messaging them, I'm emailing them. And sometimes I get some pretty big guys. I've had 3 NFL stars on the show. I've had female boxing champions, you name it. I've had them on the show. Interviewed Stephen King. Like, really had a great time reaching out to people, because why wouldn't they say yes?
No, and that's what I love, this world we're in right now, especially even today's networking event. It's like you come wanting to make new friends. And so it gets away from that fear where everybody thought you were untouchable. You've already made it. Why would you have time for me? And it's like, no, they want to share and they want to offer. I love that so much.
They're always looking for new ways to share what it is that they do.
Mhm.
And whether you got a podcast following of 5 or 500, it doesn't matter where you are. It matters where you're going.
I find that so encouraging. I don't personally have a podcast at the moment, but I've been a guest multiple times. And so but it's actually, I've always been a guest because of word of mouth referral. They're like, Jess, will you come be a guest? Jess, you're doing this. So that's really cool. So now I love, because I would actually like with intention to go ask to be a guest on certain ones. So you've helped me get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah,
With an offering.
absolutely. Absolutely. We teach you how to do some storytelling.
Yes.
How to make sure that you're actually getting to your point, that you're including your mission, your
Mhm.
vision, your values, where you're going to go in the future, and how all of those things are going to be in alignment. And not only to be educational, but also to be entertaining.
Yes.
You can't just go on there and be like, hi, I'm Travis. I do good stuff.
You have to have
Just
some
buy from me.
personality.
It's one of these special moments that you get to have when you're on a podcast. You actually get to share your story. You get to share your why. Most of the time, if we're trying to do business or sales, we don't have time to get into the real story of us. It's focused on them, and they should be. But the huge benefit on the backside is that when your business partners, potential customers come to you, they already know who you are as a person. And they've already chosen to reach out to you because they already know, like, and trust you. It's the conversation that you get to have with everybody, but only through podcasting.
I love that. And your audience reach is huge. And you have no idea how many people's you're touching with the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's another great way to leave an impact on the world, all from the comfort of a microphone. So Angel, you're super comfortable with the microphone, I'm assuming, since you said your radio and podcasting.
Well, I do destiny moments, and I believe with all my heart that man makes their plans, but God orders our footsteps.
Amen.
Because that's what his word tells us. And I chose to believe it, and I try to encourage others to believe it as well. I believe God wants the very best for every person. So I authored the book, Good Morning, Beautiful People, Angel's Prayer of the Day. And I have quite a following on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Just encouraging people to look for God in the day because he's there.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool and much needed in this world.
Yeah.
I know COVID wrecked a lot of people, scared people, life changes. So they were looking for comfort and something to realign themselves and have a compass. So that's cool.
I guess maybe people are looking for love. And I was the 14th birth to my parents. And so I grew up in poverty and didn't really know God. But I had a sister that was born, and she didn't have a voice. She didn't speak. And I, as a young girl, got a radio, and I gave her that radio for Christmas. And God has allowed me to be on the radio all over the world.
That's very cool. And it started when you were young. I love that. And what kind of impact do you do? Like, just where do you use your voice and your tools? Kind of.
I actually resonated with a lot of what Angel was saying.
Mhm.
Obviously I'm a believer in God as well. But one of the things that you made a comment that that's much needed, or this is lost, or something to that effect, and it just reminded me of one of the messages I'm always promoting, and that's actually like caring for people. I think when you get caught up in the sales and the business industry, sometimes you focus on money. You're chasing money, ego gets involved, and in that process, you stop caring about people. Sometimes people don't even realize they're doing it. And, you hear a lot of sayings in that self-development space that actually form that and help kind of create that. Your network is your net worth, common sayings like that, which I believe in.
Right.
But I think like for instance, let's take that saying, your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
That's assuming that the amount of people is going to bring you more money. And I don't think it's a very healthy saying. In my opinion, I feel like your net worth is based on the amount of people you care about and the amount of people you help.
I always like the podcasters and things too that say if you focus on your mission and giving and caring for people, the money follows naturally. But when the money's your first focus, people will see through that, and you don't want to because you'll have missed opportunities.
100%, and people can feel that energy, and so it's very obvious when someone wants to, if they actually are a giver or a taker.
So I think we need to wrap up and have like 5 seconds. So what is like just one final thought I'd like to go through each of you that could either, if someone was looking, they're in a deciding factor with where they're at in their life, what is one, either a podcast to follow, a tangible thing, a quote, a word of encouragement, and you go.
I'll just stay along the lines of that topic, caring about people. The most valuable currency is not money. The most valuable currency is not time. The most valuable currency is caring about people.
Awesome. Angel, what about you?
I say amen to that and pray every day in 2025.
And you?
You are worth more than you think you are.
I love that. Yes. Well, thank you guys. It is a pleasure. I'm really we all color coordinated without even knowing it. We're all strangers, but look at that. But it was great. Go enjoy the rest of Podfest, and please download Owwll if you haven't already, because it's an amazing resource to stay connected. Have a great day.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you.
Love your message, Angel.
Thank you.
Aligns with your name.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, will you?
We're going to go. Here's where? Here? We're going to go to the white microphone. This one? Okay. Yes. So either here or there. Whichever one. There works close.
Oh, how fun.
All right, come on, Wendy. Hey, Brendan, Christopher. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Kira.
Kira, Brendan.
Brendan, nice to meet you.
Kira and Chris. Okay. Christopher, yeah. Start right away.
Christopher, I'm sorry to.
Okay, let's get everybody to the Owwll Podcast booth. If you want to sign up, be interviewed by these co-hosts right here.
His phone. Yeah, that's my boyfriend.
And she's got me.
You take a couple pictures too, or maybe Alex can.
Yeah.
I need his phone. Okay.
Hi.
What's your name?
Wendy.
Wendy, I'm Kira.
Kira. Nice to meet you.
Wendy, Christopher.
Christopher, you look familiar.
You do too.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
We'll have to figure that out.
Somewhere.
Really familiar. You remind me of Adam Sandler's wife.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I was looking at you and I was like, I think I know that woman. I was like, no, I think.
Wow, that's really amazing. Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome.
Adam Sandler's wife. I have to see, what's her name? I have to see what she looks like.
I always forget her name, but I know her face to a T because she appears in all of his movies.
Okay. Oh, we're on? Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
hey, we're live.
we're having such an
A
interesting
behind-the-scenes
conversation, actually, meeting for the first time. So, Kira, it's so great to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
Oh, my goodness. So where are you joining us from?
Well, I live in Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Awesome. And what brought you here? And what actually brought you to Podfest?
I used to have a podcast maybe 2 years ago, and my podcast partner didn't want to do it anymore, and I miss it so much. So I thought being here would be nice to get connected again and learn some stuff.
Amazing. So you might be launching your podcast again.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think it definitely helps when you come to events like this. Like you just see so much potential, and you hear just like one great thing from one great speaker. Like, oh my god, I could so do that.
Yeah.
So like when he was just speaking on stage with 3 other absolutely just incredible women, and there's just like this one ping pong idea after the other, and all of a sudden they say something, and we're about to launch a podcast. I'm like, man, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
It's always just like one little nugget, even if it's nothing else. You could just take that, apply it, and just like watch what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun to watch yourself apply something and then be very open to the results. Like, what's going to happen with this?
What about you, Christopher?
Well, I'm from St. Pete, Florida, and this is my second Podfest. I came one in 2022, which was half the size of this one. And
you're becoming a seasoned pro.
Yeah, well, I used to have a podcast, and when I sold my company about 5 years ago, that went with it, and took a hiatus for a little while, and now I'm back, starting my third iteration of what I do as a financial wealth coach. And so now it's time to start another podcast and
sell that company.
So I'm curious, did you use your podcast initially was it lead generation? Was it just marketing? Was it like a mix of both? How did you guys leverage it originally?
It was a mix of both. You know, what I did is, as a financial advisor, my target market has always been doctors in private practice. So your local dentist, veterinarian, chiropractor, anyone like that. And, they need practice management help, and they need financial help, and of all those different areas. And so I bring in experts in those different areas and just educate, inform, and entertain. It started off being a radio show, and then just kind of morphed into more of a podcast. But it was lead gen and marketing and education for anybody who would be a client.
Okay, so I got a fun question. So you used to have a podcast.
Yes.
Okay, and I know you've done a bunch of pop-up ones. We're gonna do one.
I do pop-up podcasts.
So what was your biggest learning curve? If you're like, okay, next time I do a podcast, this is the greatest thing I've learned either to do or not to do. What would you say from having done it before in the past?
Well, what to do is listen and emulate someone who has a successful podcast in the format with the audience that you want to do, because they've already figured out the learning curve. You just
model what works.
Just model what they do, and you find your tweaks. You find the new things that you can add. But I'm not technical. I'm as far as the technology of it.
Yeah.
I hire somebody to do that stuff, but once they understand what I'm looking for, it's very quick to get it up and running in the general format that I want.
Okay, I love it. So model what works. How about you? What was your biggest takeaway or suggestion?
I actually don't have one. My podcast wasn't, I had probably like 25 to 75 consistent viewers with my partner who I did it with. So it's not like there was anything that I really had to learn. I enjoyed fully my podcast, and I don't, maybe I guess a good takeaway is we could have promoted it more.
Okay, so good learning curve. So to be able to get more of an audience for the next time on your next go around.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. And Wendy, how about you? What was your biggest takeaway?
Well, just how a podcast helps you grow relationships, deepens relationships in a way, because you would never meet a new friend and start asking them questions after question after question. So it really builds, you get to understand the psyche, you get to really understand and get to know your guests, what they do, what they're passionate about. And so I look at a podcast like you're sitting in a living room, like we're doing right now, and we're friends and we're connecting.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about what we're most passionate about. And that's what I love so much about the model, and kind of why I decided like pop up, because, well, first I produce books. So all different genres, all different areas, industries, and that sort of thing. So you learn a lot about a lot of different industries. So that in itself, to me, I don't know, I guess I would say I'm very curious, and that makes life spicy.
Sure does, yeah.
All right, so I got a fun question. Whose was the most interesting guest that you've ever had on?
That's a great question.
My most interesting guest was Forbes Riley.
And she was literally just on the panel with her 10 minutes ago. So good time.
She was back. Well, this is probably 8 years ago now.
Okay. So what was why her? What was so memorable?
Well, she's just one of a kind, and trying to have a conversation with her. She's so full of energy and opinions that it's a lot of fun to try to keep up with her in the interview.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you?
I interviewed a guy named Elu. He's a piano player, and I really liked getting inside of his mind because he was talking about, I enjoy natural law. So he was talking about natural law too. And he was talking about obedience and how you have to obey the natural law in order to get what you want. And I loved that because I resonated with it. And he's just crazy. So like getting inside the mind of somebody who is crazy. It's beautiful. So that was him for sure.
Wow, that's really cool.
So was your podcast video or just audio?
We did video and audio.
Okay, because you use your hands when you speak. So like, I hope it was video, right? Because of how expressive that you are. What about you, Christopher?
Well, mine was audio, but now I'm launching a video.
You are.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Do you have a studio? Is it a home studio? How are you producing it?
Not quite sure yet. It all depends on what kind of tools I find and what's going to work the best. There's a lot of great vendors here with solutions, but we'll find something that works and start putting some content out there.
Do you have a title?
I'm the professional's prosperity mentor, so I'm thinking probably along those lines as a channel, name of a channel. And what I do is, of course, I entertain, inform, and educate professionals in private practice. So all the things that are related to that experience.
And will you have one main platform that you will focus on? Would that be something like YouTube or more like Spotify? More YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
So really interesting that you mentioned as far as like how you record it and how you put it out there. So I think if you can leverage your time, right? So if I can do one episode, but I can video record it, then I can slice and dice it. I can put it into TikTok and Reels and all the rest of it. They did a really interesting study. It's 7-38-55. You guys familiar?
No.
So 7%. So basically in communication, 7% is the words that we use. That's how much you actually pick up on. 38 is actual tone and the tonality in which you say things. 55% of it is body language. So if you think that you're, okay, I'm going to text somebody or I'm going to email something, you lose a significant amount of actual communication between you and the other individual. So just simply by doing, taping and like using your hands and all the rest of that, you get so much more, I think, out of the show. So just kind of a really cool way, if you're able to do that.
Yeah, I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Could we?
All right, so
Where can people contact you, Christopher?
My website, ChristopherMusic.com.
Okay, awesome.
Kira?
And
Kira.
you guys can contact me on Instagram. My page is Soul Designed Future Corp, and I work with the soul.
I like it.
Okay.
And Wendy?
Love it. My name, wendyblum.com. And I, these days, am spending more time on LinkedIn. What about you, Brendan?
BrendanMcCauley.com. Super simple.
Yeah,
love it.
Love
Awesome.
it. Thanks
This was
so much
fantastic.
for being on today.
Pleasure, guys.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, I would love to. Brendan, can you give them the QR code for us?
Here, let's do it over here.
Pardon? Yeah, we're going to stick around. So, Christopher.
You said it's
How do we do that?
Yes, and if you can get this QR code, we'd love to have you on our podcast.
Okay. All right.
And then
I
send
would
me a
love to be on
note.
your podcast. I feel like
So awesome. I feel like I want to know more about you. Send me a note on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll reach back out to you afterwards. Just
Great.
an easy way for us.
Okay. Well, I don't have a service, so if it comes a little later.
Okay. Sure. He'll give you the QR code. And I hope you get on. Make sure you can get. Oh, can you get on? Okay. Well, if we have room for another guest, but she's going to be
And what is this?
No, so that'll just take you straight to the
in the purple. I think I'm doing in the purple. Okay. And the one in the green hat, is she good?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not you.
Great.
What is it?
A little more.
Okay. Not beautiful.
Awesome.
You gonna join me? Give me your phone too, so that way when you have.
I don't have my phone. It's
Oh.
always in there
Okay.
or something. Do you have yours?
Yeah.
Okay, let's make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi again.
All right, round two.
Hey. Right here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got to say hi before. I'm sorry, Brendan.
Oh, okay.
DL Walker. Hi.
DL,
Oh,
meet you.
I think she needed. Were you coming here? Okay, that's
Sure.
fine.
Can I sit next to you, Wendy?
Of course, that's fine. We'll just have to get the right name tags. We got you.
There we go.
We just do a little shuffle of names and just let them guess who's who. Wendy, is that your phone?
I think that's my phone.
I think I need to grow. I need to grow. I need
Maybe
to
an extra.
height.
I'll do what my dad did. Put a phone book underneath you and just sit on it. All good?
All's good.
Yeah.
So is this your first one?
Oh no, I've done a number of things.
That's what I was wondering.
Been like 8
Good.
years of all sorts of
Oh
things.
yeah, it's a,
All right, so we get to go for round two and do this all again.
yeah.
All right, so let's just start it off. So, biggest takeaway so far of what you guys have found here at Podfest 2025? Because I know you just got to ask a whole bunch of really cool questions.
I did. I think that I think the greatest message that I received was that we all have an important story to share, and don't be afraid to share it.
I still think we need to pull the mic
Maybe a
up a
little-
little bit.
little
I'm not. Just move the whole thing up a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
There you
So,
go.
and just real quick, so people who don't know what you do or what you speak on. So, talk about the topic and the question you asked, because they gave some really good insight.
Sure. I'm DL Walker. I fix feet naturally so that they look better, feel better, and work better. My question primarily was about niching and kind of going beyond what my expertise is and how to kind of navigate that opportunity.
Okay. And what was some of the suggestions that they gave you? Because I know you were kind of deciding, do I stay in the foot thing? Like, what ideas popped up after you asked those?
It was primarily to stick with what you know and then go on from there. And what really resonated for me is that I have a saying, it's all about the base. And so this is kind of my base from a podcast standpoint to grow from and build the foundation from a strong base.
Well, and so it's funny because Wendy came up to me after. She's like, "Oh my God, she's just talking about feet. Like I must listen." So
Yeah, and I said that to you as well. Yeah, for sure.
okay.
That's the beauty of podcasts. And Sharonata is in the house.
Oh, Sharonata's in the house. Wendy's in the house. Oh, well, thank you for inviting me on. I'm so excited to be here. And definitely feet are so important because I know so many people whose feet just ache them like crazy. And I think the dream is for people to walk barefoot on the earth because that is where we get to come back and connect with our earth so that we can, all this electronics that we're around happens to pull our energy. And when we can walk barefoot on the earth, begin to connect back so it neutralizes the toxic, the free radicals that are in our body for earthing.
I think this is such an important conversation, and this needs to be shouted from the mountaintop because we are holding all of our electronic industry is, oh my goodness, our physical body, and we're so attached to all these things. So can you share a little bit about your business and what you're passionate about?
I would love to. Thank you, Wendy. Yes. So I created a company about 10 years ago. This is our 10th anniversary, where we create jewelry and accessories that neutralize the radiation that comes from your electronics and 5G, so that we can all live healthier in a digital age, which I think is the most important thing, because I really don't think that people understand. They would think that it's all emotional to keep a high vibe. It's an emotional thought process, but they don't understand that electronics around us are draining our energy field and actually mess up with our brain. And we struggle without even knowing emotionally how it's affecting us. So it's really, really important that we can learn that it's just not, it's physical, it's energetic, that we are energetic human beings in this electrical world that's not our perfect harmony. Does that make sense?
It definitely does. And I'm just curious now, have you had a podcast?
I have never, I always say I'm a serial guester on podcasts.
And so you've been on podcasts.
Many. And I've spoken for many
So-
years.
And you're open to get booked on podcasts.
Always
and
open
share
to
this.
get booked
Both
up.
of you.
Yes, thank
DL,
you.
Do you go by DL?
I do.
Okay. Okay, great. And so you're thinking about launching a podcast, and maybe you're going to even have some overflow over here.
Absolutely. I had a vidcast for my audience called Step Up with DL. The Foot has so many.
It's a good play on words. I
Oh
like
my
it.
God.
Yeah.
It's endless. It's endless. And I love words, by the way. And, I had a thought and a question. Is it possible to create electronics that work harmoniously with our frequency?
You are my vibe, baby.
That's why we wound up together.
Yes, yes.
No accident that
No
the two of you are here.
accidents. I just say that it's time for us to make policies in our government and around the world to make clean technology. And that's the end of that. Let us have it, because we, it's not about being in fear, because we love our technology. It's a tool for us. We need it. We stay connected. It's helping us in so many great ways, just like AI. It has a greater purpose. However, we cannot live in this world the way it is with this technology, because it truly is a silent killer. And people have not heard my story. EMF energy that's coming from our electronics is the same as microwave energy. So literally, would you stand in front of a microwave oven 24/7? What would you say? No way.
No.
Would you put your kids in the car in a seatbelt kids in the car without a seatbelt? No way. So it really is about learning clean technology, because it is the same energy. And literally, my brain tumor is how I created my brain tumor, because of my home office. The home office created my brain tumor because it was a microwave oven. It takes about 10 years to form.
How long ago was that? I didn't even know this.
Yeah, I had emergency brain surgery about 2 years ago. And and the type I get, only 2 type of people usually get this type tumor. It is a type 2 atypical, usually Black men over 65. I don't think I'm any of those. Or people surrounded by a lot of radiation.
Interesting.
So guess what? Where do you have like the Wi-Fi router? Where is it?
Mine's right next to my bed.
Where is it?
Mine's right next to my bed.
Oh, no.
No. You need it at least 10 feet from your body in where you live and work and play.
I feel like I'm gonna get a whole energetic just makeover for my house when I go back home.
I will come over and visit and help you.
Yeah.
Anyhow. So yeah, it's just it's a story that it's a conversation that needs to be had on as many podcasts as we can get.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think it's always interesting just the different topics that you can learn about, and even if it's just like one major thing that you walk away from, and some of the podcasts I've enjoyed listening to the most are like the shortest, just straight, sweet to the point. Like we talked for not even 5 minutes, and just I was like mind blown. Oh my God, like I'm in the dead center of this. And I think that's the power of podcasting. I think if you've never had the opportunity to launch one, when you truly realize like your one message, and when you were talking before, how can you do like one to many? You all of a sudden open this door of we have so many talent, skills, knowledge, ability that just people need to hear about. Someone needs to learn, whether it's a tip on speaking, if it's how do you prevent a brain tumor, if it's, hey, how can you stay with better posture? How can you get your message to the masses? I mean, you guys all have something amazing to share. So I'm excited that you guessed. I'm excited to see that yours is coming up, and excited to hear the new one that you're going to launch. It's going to be really cool.
And one thing I do want to say about Podfest, I believe this is my 3rd Podfest. And like I mentioned to you both, it is the most heart-centered community of people. Everybody wants to work together. They empower each other. They lift you up, and it's not judgmental. So it really, and I think that's the most beautiful thing. You find people in your alignment, and you're just like make friends and family.
It's so true. So how can people find you?
Oh, well, they can go online and find me. I put my name on here, CoreliaCreations.com.
And that's how you can find Sharonata. And DL, how can the listeners find you?
That would be naturalfoottreatment.com.
Naturalfoottreatment.com. Thank you so much for being with us today.
You both.
Appreciate it, ladies.
Have a great day.
If you just smile for a picture really quick. And
Who are we smiling to?
And
he's busy eating.
just a picture of us. Just anybody.
Should we?
Thank you.
Should we do one fun one?
Okay, one fun one. And then we gotta.
We gotta go.
Thank you.
I should have stuck my foot up.
That
would have been funny.
We gotta talk.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah.
Did you connect with Wendy already?
Yes. You have my card.
I do, but if you can get the QR code, we'd love to have you on our podcast.
Oh, sure.
So you just go ahead and grab the picture of it.
Okay, yes. My
We're
phone.
relieved. Okay.
Thank
perfect.
you.
Okay.
What we do is all the tech stuff. Just put your details in there and then we'll get back to you. Are you on photo or video?
I'm on photo. Oh, you're right. I'm on video. That's right. I think you're on. Is that you?
It'll come up, yeah. So just throw in your details and then we'll reach back out to you.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
On the other side.
As long as you guys are on the opposite side, that's all. It's that.
Hello.
Oh, look at that.
Are we in? Okay.
Hi, Kendall Cooper. What do you do?
I'm a podcast producer and podcaster.
Yeah.
My podcast is storytelling.
Hi.
Podcast.
Hi.
I bring people on. They tell
Carla.
stories, and I produce other people's shows on my network.
I'm always looking for speaking gigs.
Are we ready? Are we kicking off?
But I speak to seniors, and my subject is I have a book coming out called Take This Phone and Ship It. It's for seniors.
So how do we do this? Who's the host?
Yeah, so he's getting us all set up.
Okay.
Boom.
Awesome.
Is this close enough? Okay, this is.
Hey, so welcome to Podfest 2025.
Hi.
Kendall, let's kick it off with you.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about who you are and what brings you to Orlando.
My name is Kendall Cooper, K Cooper Media.
Make sure you get close to the mic.
K Cooper Media, by way of Philadelphia. This is my second Podfest. I was here in 2023, and I know I had to come back because that was my first experience, and it was wonderful connecting with people. So I said I had to come back. So I've been pretty busy in 2024, and I'm here to just